Daddies. Daddies.
Welcome
We're
back to
going back
another
now.
week of Death Metal Daddies. My name is Jeff.
Hello. Hi. Welcome back. That's us.
Yeah, you're back with another week with us at Death Metal Daddies. How's it going? How's your week been?
Oh,
Do we want to talk about the big thing that happened, or do you just want to move on
I,
from that?
I don't know any big things that really happened, particularly last weekend or, Sunday in particular. I can't really think of anything that comes to mind, but, pretty boring week, pretty
Yeah,
shitty week, a terrible week for some reason, but no. Yeah, elephant in the room. Chiefs lost.
yeah.
pretty, pretty
I wasn't really
badly.
not
I
going to
mean,
watch it. I'm glad I did.
dude, that had to be the worst Chiefs game that I've seen them play with Patrick Mahomes as quarterback. Like, I can't think of
Which
another
which
terrible
would you
one.
say is worse, them versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl, or them versus Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl? Because it felt like they were very similar.
We didn't get our asses stomped like that.
Hmm.
Like, the Eagles was an absolute ass stomp. Like, and they got Mahomes nervous, back-to-back interceptions on opening drive plays near the end zone, and so we basically gave them two touchdowns, and you can't do that in a Super Bowl, man. You know,
Yeah,
and
it did look like it was the first time I've ever seen him actually nervous. Because it looked like there was, what,
oh,
two or three back-to-back sack plays?
dude, yeah, I got sacked like 4 or 5 times total in the game, um, which is close to an all-time high. I mean, I think there's some other ones that he's been sacked that much, but um, yeah, man, just like I couldn't believe it. I've never seen him like that, but he was clearly shooken up. And I mean, had to scramble 9 times out of 10. It seemed like they didn't have one great like cohesive play. Like it just looked like a shit show. It really did. And the Eagles looked so like in tune and together and with it. And I mean, dude, they dominated us. It was a straight domination. Unbelievable. I did not see that coming. And then when the Chiefs want to score, it's in the end of the third quarter going into the fourth. And that's like, I literally turned it off. I quit watching in the third quarter because I was just like, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, because even the
But
receivers who caught the touchdown passes didn't look like they celebrated. They went in the end zone, then turned right back around to walk back to the sideline or back to the huddle. They didn't. They were
yeah,
defeated. It was I've never seen them like that. So for me, that was interesting and fun. But I can understand as a fan that would be heartbreaking. Uh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was just like, I mean, I don't know, man. I, yeah, sure, I was upset about it. And I'm sure there was other fans that were probably very emotional. I've never really seen the point in getting emotional because, I'm not feeling what they're feeling. It's got to be the worst for them, sitting on that sideline, seeing that fucking scoreboard and knowing the truth that you're not going to win this game, towards that far in. And like, I just remember seeing that shot of the offense and like all the guys on the bench, and like you just see like multiple legs shaking, and then they're all just like dead face serious. It's just like, oh my God, never seen the Chiefs so shook. But like,
Hmm.
wow, dude, we just got rocked. It was crazy.
Yeah, because it didn't even look like it was only just Mahomes. Like there was a lot of like drop catches and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Kelsey
seemed
drops
like it
two
was all around.
passes.
Yeah,
Hopkins drops a
Hopkins.
perfect the like one good pass that came from Mahomes. Hopkins drops. I'm like, of all people,
Hmm.
Hopkins, one of the best receivers in the league. Like, damn. I don't know. If it is rigged, this is an interesting plot twist. But the perfect setup for a Eagles Chiefs trilogy. because now we have to have that. We have to go back to face the Eagles again just to
That's
win the best
fine.
2 out of 3.
That's fine as long as they're now the three-peat's off the board. I'm all fine now. I
Yeah,
could not live my life knowing the Chiefs are the
couldn't
only
stand the
team in the
3-peat.
NFL to have ever done a three-peat. I don't want to live my life that way. 'Cause it doesn't matter if like after this three-peat you guys are terrible for the rest of the time. Chiefs fans would always bring that up. We're the only team with a three-peat. Best team in the NFL was the 2020 to 2025 Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, like, yeah, they may have not gotten the three-peat, but like, you think people hate the Chiefs now? Like, this is going to be a 10-year delay because of how many records they've set, how many bars they've set, and like, this is just Mahomes' 7th season playing with the Chiefs or something like that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, hopefully we can get like a good 10 to 15 years out of him. That would be amazing, but
I
it's hard
also
to
wonder how
say.
your salary cap's going to start because I started looking at your guys' salary cap. His pay is going more and more up since you guys have kept pushing it off to get better players. Like
Damn.
I think he's owed 66 million next year, and
Wow. Holy shit.
you guys are losing Hopkins, Watson, Hollywood Brown,
Oh, yeah,
McKee,
a
McCole
lot.
Hardman, and you guys are
Yeah.
still like only 15% or 15 million under cap.
Hmm. That's scary. Yeah. And I mean, Tyreek Hill has, I believe, expressed interest in coming back, so that would be a cool return.
Do you guys want him back
Um,
though?
I would take him, absolutely. We
I don't
did.
know.
I mean, he was the best wide receiver connection for Mahomes that I've seen so far,
I, I might
watching
not
him
be a
play.
Chiefs fan. However, I don't think you guys want Hill because he seems to be kind of like not the best team player, but also you guys already have a kind of a replacement with him. And who's that newer guy you guys have? That's really fast.
Um,
Not Sky Moore, but the other
oh,
guy.
Worthy, Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, yeah. He
Hmm.
looked really good. Even like I know the
Yeah,
Super Bowl looked bad, but even his touchdown catch, like he outran two players that were starting off right by him. Tyreek Hill-esque, so I don't think you guys really need two of them. I almost think you guys maybe need to
yeah.
get another like second or a third wide receiver and then a another tight end to replace Kelsey because obviously he's coming to the end of his career.
Yeah, I was wondering, if he was going to retire after this season, but I don't know if he can consciously retire on a loss like that. I think he's going to have to come back for some sort of redemption because he drops 2 passes in the Super Bowl game, so that's got to be on his mind heavy,
Yeah.
but
Also, do you
um,
think he was planning
I
on
don't know.
proposing if they won?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it was lining up for him to retire out and then, go off and have babies with T Swift.
Hmm.
But I don't know about now. Be interesting.
Yeah. Anything else happen? How was your Super Bowl party? Like the food and all that?
So we did. Lex made this like buffalo chicken dip. That was really good. She made a spinach artichoke dip that was real good. Like all basically put together homemade recipes. And what else? What else did we do? Oh, tacos. So we kind of had like a small, like taco bar. Um, and then yeah, those dips, and it was bomb. And then Casey, she brought over like these jalapeno cheese popper thingies. They were really good.
I gotcha.
It was awesome. What'd you guys do?
We did pretty much the same thing. Danny kind of talked me into it just because this is a tradition. It's American tradition. You gotta watch the Super Bowl, and also it's Kendrick Lamar and says at the super halftime like I
Yeah.
gotta watch it. I love Kendrick Lamar. So I watched it. I made buffalo chicken dip. And I tried to make chili dogs, but I when I went to the grocery store, I already realized I was spending way too much money. So I bought the cheapest canned chili I could get, and it didn't turn out too good. Wolf brand chili. Um,
Oh man, you were
that
roughing
didn't
it.
turn out. That didn't do too good. I was the only one who had the chili dog, but
That was
Danny
like a
made
that was like a regular lunch day for this dude I used to work with at the sawmill. It
wolf
was like
brand
a
chili.
raging. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You just bring a can of Wolf chili, go put it on the air compressor in the room, because like that whole place required this hot ass air compressor. It would get hot enough to like heat a can. He'd eat Hormel chili and drink alcohol out of a body armor bottle. Then I'd go up to him. He'd be like, "That's the hair of the dog." I'm like, "All right, buddy. All right, Richard."
Yeah,
That's
I remember
funny.
I used to eat Wolf Brand chili every now and then, but now that I'm an adult, it's like, man, this is terrible. It's just the cheapest brand of canned
Oh,
chili you can get. It didn't even look like chili, it just looked like sludge. It wasn't good. But Danny made some uh cheeseburger sliders out of deer meat and turkey. It turned out great. Almost like
ooh.
a it had a little bit of sweetness because it's the Hawaiian roll, so it's kind of like a maybe you think of like a Philly cheesesteak because it's also kind of like ground up and everything.
Oh, yeah, that
Good.
would be good. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Watched Super Bowl. I was on edge the entire time because I was waiting for his like, all right, is this going to be one of those dumb things where this is his Tom Brady against the Falcons comeback? I just kept waiting. It's
Yeah.
like, nope, just wait. I'm not celebrating yet. Just wait. And then about the third quarter, it's like, okay, I'm fine now. We can all enjoy
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that was the Eagles takeoff moment. Once it got to like 27 to nothing, I was like, yeah, we there ain't no coming back from this. And I saw they managed to get up to like 22. Like I think the final score was 40 to 22, but it's just like still it's like can't do it that late, man.
Yeah,
Can't make it happen. It sucks, but yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Well, I mean, I guess it was the worst game of Chiefs football. Like I can never really watch another Chiefs football game like that again. I mean, I was even contemplating. I was like, do they throw in Carson Wentz at some point? Like, what's going on here? Is this a joke? But it did cross my mind. But anyways, the halftime show. I've seen it's gotten a ton of hate. Have you seen that?
Yeah, but I feel because I was talking to Danny about it. I feel like I can't remember a single halftime Super Bowl halftime where people didn't complain.
True.
Like
Yeah.
people
I
complain
mean, they
about the
bitch about every
weekend.
single one.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
complain about the weekend. They complain about Beyonce. They complain about Maroon 5. I can't think of
Mhm.
like I don't remember the Eminem one that well, but I feel like people probably complain about that one.
Well, so they did recently. They did a collab and it was Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Kendrick
Hmm.
Lamar, and I want to say there was one other.
50 Cent.
Yeah, maybe 50 Cent. Dude, it was badass. I thought,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I don't really remember hearing anything negative about that one. I don't think. Oh yeah, Ludacris. Didn't he just do one?
When
And
did he
people
do
hated
one?
that. I don't know. Think maybe last year.
No, because I think wait, was last year? When was the weekend?
Weekend was like 2 years ago.
So who was last year? Was it Ludacris?
No, I can't. I feel like he's coming to mind.
No, it was
I
Rihanna.
really. Oh,
No,
okay.
Rihanna
Wait,
was two
what?
years ago
Yeah.
because that was the
Let me.
Philadelphia one.
So we were both wrong. Last year was Usher
That's right.
with special guests Alicia Keys, Jermaine Dupri, her, Will I Am, Lil Jon, and Ludacris. So Ludacris did appear last year, but I guess he was technically a special guest.
I gotcha.
Um, Man, I totally forgot Usher. But yeah, I remember Rihanna. I liked hers. I thought it was cool.
Hmm.
But I remember people hating on that one.
Then there's the J
I dug
Lo
last
and
year's.
Shakira one.
Yeah, that was weird.
I remember
That one
people
I
were
thought was
making fun of
just
the goat
weird.
thing. The she did the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I still don't understand why she did that to this day. I think we might have watched that Super Bowl together
Yeah, I think
because
that
I
was the Chiefs'
remember.
first Super Bowl win.
Yeah, she was like in the camera. It's like, what the fuck? What was that? Um, yeah, and then 2022 was Eminem, Dr. Dre, the big lineup, and then 2021 was the weekend, and 2020, yeah, Shakira, J Lo, and then 2019 Maroon 5, Travis Scott, Big Boy. What? I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that one.
Travis Scott was performing with Maroon 5. That's weird.
I didn't watch that one.
I didn't either. Uh, 2018, Justin Timberlake and the Tennessee Kids. I didn't know he came back and did another one since the booby incident. That's
I don't know.
crazy.
I kind of stopped watching them after a while
Yeah,
because I
I
felt
guess I
like it was
did
just
too.
Patriots all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, same. I probably tuned out because of that. Yeah, the list goes on. No really need to go that much farther until you get to 2007, and then it was Prince, and
Yeah.
that's him. He came out and like donned the symbol name, where he
Wasn't that the
wasn't Prince
stage
anymore.
too?
He was symbol. Yeah, I think so. It was really like Princed out. It was like the most like icon stylized thing I've seen at a halftime show. I don't know if that makes
Also,
sense. It was just
I
like so
remember
much
when
about him.
I remember immediately after the nipple incident with Super Bowl, they tried to play it safe and they tried to play these boring ones. Like I remember the year immediately after they had Paul McCartney. I thought, man, this is the most boring halftime show they could have
Mm,
done. So I'm glad they
hmm
do stuff like this. I liked Kendrick Lamar's I like his music, so I think I'm a little jaded when it comes to thinking he did good. He played a lot of the songs I liked, so I like that. But I
Yeah,
mean, not gonna make everyone happy. I
right.
mean,
For sure.
I th- also he won 5 Grammys just recently with that last song, so I feel like
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense for him to play it.
So have you seen a breakdown of all the call outs on Drake on that?
Yeah, I like why
It's
that's
pretty
why
crazy.
Serena Williams was dancing.
Yeah, because
Um,
that's Drake's ex, and then like he clearly says his name and then does that fucking side smile at the camera
hmm
like directly, and
hmm
it's just like I don't know, man. Me and Lex were talking about it. It's like you can't like really call someone a pedophile and them just not, you know, like I feel like Drake's comebacks aren't matching up to how much Kendrick's delivering, in the whole
hmm
Drake Kendrick feud. And I feel like he hasn't ever since Kendrick brought it up, like the whole pedophilia thing. But like if you call someone that, man, like that's got some oomph behind it. And the fact that they've collaborated together, like in the around the 2010 marker, they started doing songs together and stuff. But so that tells me he actually knows this guy. It's
hmm
not like I mean, maybe they weren't sitting in a room together. Maybe it was, whatever, passing by kind of collaboration stuff. But still, you're working with this guy. You obviously know him. You probably know his circle, what he does, that sort of stuff. So that tells me that there's some real truth to his calling out. You know what I mean? Do you think
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, and also I think someone brought up that technically he can't sue him for calling him pedophile at the Super Bowl because he had SZA with him, and Drake dated SZA when he was like 21 or 22, but she was 17 or 18.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
They dated a long time ago, but she like pretty sure she was underage when they started dating. And SZA and Kendrick do a lot of songs together. Like he's on her new album twice, she's on his new album twice. They've done collaborations in the back, and they're
Hmm.
going on tour together. So I think she also knows some stuff, kind of thing.
Yeah. Damn it. I feel like it's getting pretty heavy. It's getting really dense. You know what I mean?
hmm Did you also
I
see
hope
it?
that no
Did you
one
see how he
like
came out in
takes
an
it as far.
Australia show?
Oh, huh.
He came out to a show with a bunch of bullet holes in his sweater in the back, and it had a
Oh
smoke
yeah,
machine coming out of
yeah.
it.
It's smoke coming out. I was like, that's so ridiculous. Like, uh, I did see that. Man, that's crazy.
I also
That
saw a
takes
video.
some like you're really
Go ahead.
putting a lot of effort into that one.
Yeah,
You
and I
know.
also saw. I guess he's touring in his opening acts or his DJs, and I guess on one of the nights, they had the DJs get the crowd to talk about how much that to sing how much they love Drake and that he's going through all this stuff, but you know what? We still love him. He's been there for us. And they played "My Heart Will Go On" for him and tried to get everyone to sing it for Drake to let him know that they all love him.
What? Wow. That's crazy. I've seen like this emotional, like this guy, like scream crying, reacting, saying, "Don't like," in defense of Drake and all this shit. And I'm just, is that real? Or is this like someone trying to, make a viral video or for something so stupid? But I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like some of it's real, but a lot of it I think is just joking around, like making fun of the whole there because there's a lot of Drake fans that are just defending it no matter what. So it's just fun to
Yeah,
make fun of them.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, interesting. But yeah, I guess I wonder where it's going to lead.
No, no. I know he's suing people. Like he's suing, and I think
Drake?
that's even why. Yeah, because didn't Kendrick even say something about they like to sue in the Super Bowl halftime show?
I don't know, maybe.
I feel like he
I
said
don't
something about
remember.
they like to sue in
Hmm.
one of his like between the Man in the Garden song right before he did the Not Like Us song.
Hmm. Maybe. I like Samuel L. Jackson's cameo too. That was pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah, that was
I love
cool.
Sam. Yeah.
Oh, did you hear about some of the extra stuff that wasn't on camera? Apparently, though, someone got arrested. Someone tried to protest during his show.
Oh, really?
So someone, I
A
guess,
Drake
is one.
supporter?
No, it was one of his backup dancers had hit a flag on him, and like during the show, got up on that car and held up the Palestinian and Sudanese flag and said Palestine and or Gaza and Sudan. And I guess he got
What the
arrested.
hell?
I guess to like, well, Trump was there,
Oh. Yeah, I
and
seen that.
with everything that's going with Gaza and what's being said about it right now, kind of protesting that, I'm guessing. But he got arrested, and now New
Hmm.
Orleans is trying to find what charges they can stick him with. Like, because think about it, what did he do illegal? Because technically he was supposed to be there.
Yeah, that's tough. Huh. Crazy. I'm sure he lost his job,
I mean, he's
but
probably like a not necessarily a contractor, but like just one of those kind of like an actor thing to where you just you audition, get paid for it. So maybe you just didn't get paid for it
yeah,
since he didn't
right.
technically perform what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know like the legal boundaries of, you know, peaceful protests and all that jazz.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Anything?
it's perfect opportunity to interrupt and get it televised, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, also one more thing. Apparently, there's other flags going around, but that was part of the show, and it was a bunch of people on the field running around with flags. It was a bunch of kids reaching up to a A for A minor.
What was this? Oh yeah, yeah. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Um, yeah, the shots were real. They're definitely out there. Like, wow,
Hmm.
it's just crazy.
Yeah. Anything else to
Definitely
add to?
makes a statement.
Yeah. Anything else to add
Yeah,
to our
no. So
weeks?
that's been the week. um, no, man, I don't think so. Look, it's looking like we might have a snow day here tomorrow. What about you?
Yeah, probably the same. Which I was on leave today. I was supposed to go back to work tomorrow. We'll see. But also, I was supposed to go look at a Bronco tomorrow. Someone's selling an '87
Oh,
Bronco for 5 grand. Only 160,000 miles on it. Uh,
what?
yeah, pretty
Wow.
good condition. A little bit of rust, and I asked about a leakage. He says it leaks a little bit of oil, about a quarter size a week, which I think I could probably get fixed, just depending on where it's at. Taking a risk. I want
Yeah,
to look
that
at it before I buy it,
sounds
but
like that sounds like a lot of oil, but I don't know.
yeah, just got to figure out where it's at and try to determine how much that's going to cost to fix it and if it's worth it.
JB weld that bitch up, good as new.
Yeah. Yep. Hopefully we don't get snowed in, but we will see. Um, are you ready to move on to this mammoth of new releases?
What are you guys listening to?
Weekly playlist.
Weekly playlist.
Weekly playlist. Weekly.
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
All right, this week we have
Let's get
a
right in there.
lot of music. We got 70 songs, 5.5 hours.
Holy shit. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm going to start off with the singles. First single up is the brand new single from Straight from the Path. The name of the song is called Kubrick Stare. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
I don't know what you thought about it. I love this. Especially
Yeah.
because I didn't understand the title, but then I looked at the album, the single art is like, oh, okay. Like it's from The Shining, Jack Nicholson. I
Yeah,
love it.
it's so cool. Yeah,
I
that's a great cover, dude.
What'd you think of this song?
Yeah, dude, I loved it as well, man, and super pumped on it. I haven't listened to this band in a long time. I don't know that they haven't really been a band that I go and jam on the regular. Like I go hit up this album of theirs. I don't know. I've never really done that with this band, but this song really made me want to do that because I don't know. I loved what I heard. I
Hmm.
and they are so unique. They're like a heavier Rage Against the Machine. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Groovier,
Yeah.
but just super badass, man. Super chunky, real chanty too, and like fucking pump you up songs. Yeah, this one's super badass. Love the cover as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I'm having a hard time figuring out though if it's supposed to be about mental illness or if it's a political thing, but either way, I'm really enjoying it. Hopefully this is building up to new album. I loved their previous one. I forget what it's called, but it's the blue one with the bloody fingerprint on the button. I fell off them for a while, but I'm liking their new stuff, and hopefully this is gonna be the same thing as their previous album. Pretty good, so we will see.
Oh yeah.
Up next, we talked about it a little bit last week. Very exciting. This is the new song by Rivers of Nile off their upcoming album, Rivers of Nile. This song is called House of Light. What'd you think?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a crazy timing, isn't it? Like I just told you about the Lighthouse movie in the
Mm-hmm.
like last week, and this oddly just drops like right around then. So that was kind of crazy. But and I guess you could say it's a direct influence. I mean, it's the exact sound sample that's used in the movie, is what it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like. So, um, yeah, it's okay. I'm not super pumped on the new style of screams. And I don't really know why. Like, they sound really mean, really aggressive, but I also have this problem with the band Alluvial. Like, it's the same style that he does. Like, they sound almost identical, honestly, but I don't know. There's just not something that's sucking me in about it. I want to say his name is Andy, who's doing the cleans now. And man, that dude is just a badass singer. Amazing voice. Like he's got a stellar voice.
Is that the Black
And
Crown
he's,
Initiative guy?
shredding guitar too. Yeah, yeah. And he was great in that band, and great in this one too. He's a great fit for Rivers of Nile, but um yeah, I don't know. I think they should have been more creative with like the name and stuff. Like it's just too direct for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
I got you.
hide it a little bit more. You know what I mean? Make it a bit more mysterious instead of just swapping the words around. No, I'm sorry. I'm just being picky, but no, man, it's cool to see this band come back. I think they should like I don't know. I wish they could have made the original singer work, but I
Yeah.
didn't really like his later stuff. I really like those earlier two albums. Um, so I don't know. Maybe everything's happening for a reason, but I dug the sound. Like the riffage is heavy as hell. Just super jammy. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think of it, man?
I liked it. I don't know. I kind of like the screens, but at the same time, I kind of like the screens more than I like the clean singing. I I don't know. I when I hear
Oh,
that Rivers
really?
of Nile's yeah, when I hear Rivers of Nile is coming out, like they have a new singer and their new album is going to be called just their self-titled. It makes me feel like, all right, are you going back to more of like your older, heavier side kind of thing? So I get more excited with that. So I think that's just where I'm approaching it with. But also, I'm wondering if the name of the new album is called Rivers of Nile, is it really going to be a concept with this? So is it just going to be like House of Light is its own story, its own kind of like an anthology kind of thing, or a normal album
Hmm.
and non-concept, which I feel like is weird for Rivers of Nile at this point, but maybe it is kind of like a rebrand kind of thing. I don't know. But I didn't mind it. I
Yeah.
kind of liked it. Also, just a little wasn't a big fan of the work, so I felt like this was a little bit more
Yeah.
refreshing. Where the Owls Know My Name, I
Yeah.
do love that album, but I felt like it was a little too it was good for its time, but I don't think you should. It's something that they should try to replicate because you can't. It was a perfect album. You can't try to replicate it. So trying to move on was going to be a hard thing, and I don't think they did it well with the work. So I feel like this direction might be good, in my opinion. But
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely parts I dug, like I'm not totally hating it or anything, but I'm just a snob and, I get picky with that kind of shit. But, I was gonna say something. Shit. Oh yeah, I was talking to Chaz about this, and he also said that, he thinks they should have done a total rebrand, like name change, and he thinks he could have followed it better. And I'm almost kind of with him there. Um, I don't know. I just think going with Rivers Nile, it's definitely different than what it used to be, but there is similar aspects, but I don't know. Andy's cleans are so traditionally like black brown. They should have called it like Black Crown Nile
yeah,
or Rivers of Initiate.
Initiates River.
Yeah, the Initiate River.
Yeah, that's
Psyop.
that's coming out on their new album, Rivers of Nile. Apparently, those are up for pre-order now. If anyone's interested, over at indiemerchstore.com. Um, Up next we have Throne of Ashes by Gut Rectomy. Um, I really enjoyed this. It was felt very slammy, almost deathcore in turn,
Hmm.
like in production stuff, almost borderline music wise, almost deathcore, but it's still very slammy. I really enjoyed this. What'd you think of this one?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I didn't remember the vocals being sounding like that. I think the last time I listened to these guys, but I also don't know if I've really had these guys in my rotation that much. I get all the Ectomy bands kind of
Hmm. Yeah.
jumbled up. You know what I mean? There's a
Hmm.
there's a ton of them nowadays. So, uh, but yeah, it was sounding cool, man. From what I heard, I was digging it. I like the slammy, chunky stuff. So, and that's definitely this.
Up next we have so I found this one just came out and I added it simply because we keep talking about the other half of the Poetic Edda with Disembodied Tyrant, but Sinestra was the other band from that collaboration EP that kind of launched both of them of the Poetic Edda. And this is the new single by Sinestra. I think it's pronounced Dies Irae. Um,
Mm,
Very much similar style of Disembodied Tyrant, also almost a little bit more Lorna Shore style. Very ridiculous
hmm.
vocals and just production, but I really digged it. Very heavy, black and deathcore. I enjoyed it, especially near the end with this ridiculous bass drop at the end, which I'm sad I was in my car when I heard it. I listened to it on my computer, so it didn't hit as much, but I enjoyed it. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous and in the same vein of Disembodied Tyrant. The only bad thing is like you could have told me that this was Disembodied Tyrant and I wouldn't have been able to notice a difference, you know.
Hmm.
It's like they sound so similar to me that, I couldn't really separate them. But I didn't know that. So they actually did a collab EP with Disembodied Tyrant.
Yeah, that's what that the Poetic Edda was. It was
Okay.
both those bands came together and created the Poetic Edda, I guess, together. I don't know if they like split the songs because, as you pointed out, they're so similar. So I can't really tell. Like, did someone write this song, another song? Was it a split? Was it a full collab to where you guys all got in a room and wrote these songs together? I don't know.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah, pretty crazy though, man. I mean, it's like I feel like it's groundbreaking, like in that, it's like this new type of style that's taking off. Like I want to say the other band that's kind of doing similar stuff, but is almost more of breakdowny extreme deathcore. It's like Larcinia Row or something like that. Have you heard of them?
Haven't heard of them.
Yeah, they kind of do the same choppy shit, like super chaotic choppy stuff. Yeah, I'll throw you one of their videos, I think, that I've seen on YouTube, and you'll probably get it. But yeah, yeah, brutal as hell though.
Yeah. Up next is two singles. Sean sent me this over to me. I thought it was an album, but it looks like it's just two songs for an upcoming album. There's two songs by the band Metaphobic. The singles are Spectral Circle and Hypnosis Ingram. I kind of liked it. I only listened to Spectral Circle. It was right before we started, but it was uh, pretty much like what I would say if you took old school style death metal but made it sound more modern. Like the riffage is like point blank, like you could hear this, and that if you took the production, made it bad, you would say it came from like the 90s. Like, but it sounds good and clean, very fun, good death metal. Just kind of like a modern production, making it sound good and clean. So I kind of enjoyed that. Yeah, I kind of liked it. Were you able to listen to these two?
I did not make it to this to those singles. I kind of jumped around, a lot to cover, so
Hmm.
I didn't catch those ones yet. There's even more that I need to catch up on here, but yeah.
Understandable.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Sean.
this is a long playlist. Some of these I might have to play just real quick just to get jog my memory. But yeah, that's it for the singles. Now let's get into the full albums. First up, uh, it's a was very controversial leading up to it, and that is the new album Asonic by the band Obscura. Um, the legendary German tech death band. I mean,
Sonication, right?
yeah, a Sonication.
Yeah.
Um, I mean,
Sonic Vacation.
yeah, Sonic's Vacation. Yeah. Um, I mean, I love this band. I loved them for a long time. But the allegations kind of jade me a little bit, and I try to not make it affect the music. I mean, I didn't mind it. I just having a hard time remembering everything. I do remember Silver Linings was a pretty cool, typical kind of obscure stuff. Evanfall, I loved the intro. It was that bassy, slow, like mystical kind of sounding into the actual song. This wasn't a bad album. It just I didn't stick with it, and I don't know. I feel like I would love it more, but I also feel like a validation was maybe even better than this one a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I liked the starting of it. The first couple tracks I want to say are pretty good, and but I think I agree. I think I like the last release more with this new kind of obscura sound route that they're going. And yeah, it feels like it's kind of like tarnished with the whole controversial allegation bullshit, you know? And really what it dumbs down to is I actually watched an interview that some guy did on a like video log with the Obscura front dude. And I forget his name, but it basically seemed like it was dumbed down to just drama bullshit, you know. He's saying these are these riffs, but the lead dude, he seemed calm and collected in this interview with this guy on this video log, and he basically was just like, I reached out to him when I heard about it, and I told him, to not go to public, and we can talk about this. But I guess he's upset because that guy just went out to the public about this shit, but he denies that any of the stuff that guy says is true. And so it's just like, geez, it's just like caught in the drama, you know. But that can easily tarnish the band, and like it almost had a bad taste, going into this album. I felt like I was able to seek out all the imperfections. Like a lot of people have been talking about the sound quality. Um, I've seen a lot of more bad things said about this album than good. So
Hmm. And
for
I also
whatever
feel
that's
like,
worth, but
and I feel like you said, it's tarnished, and I feel like it is, and typically these allegations wouldn't be too big of a deal, but I feel like with a band like Obscura, where the focus is more on the instruments, like the vocals, like they're nothing super crazy or special. It
mhm.
is mostly about the technicality and the instruments. So if you hear that he stole all the instruments from previous members, like kind of ruins the whole vibe of this album. So
Yeah. Yeah, and there's always two sides to the story also. So I I'm almost be willing to say that each of them are some of both of their statements is probably wrong, some of both of their statements is probably right. It's just a
yeah,
matter of
and that
fine-tooth
is
combing
true.
it to see what it's all about. But um yeah, I don't know, man. Regardless, this didn't sound as captivating to me as like the last stuff, like we said. Um And I did notice, like, there was a comment about his vocals being worse on this one, and I kind of agree with that. Like, he sounds a lot more dry and, like, just not really, like, the takes weren't really fine tuned. He just kind of spit them out there and, yeah, let's juice them up to the best that they could, and it's just, it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. But, still crazy, technical riffs and stuff going on in their music. But yeah, man, I don't know.
Do you feel like it was maybe a little rushed?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I was getting that vibe a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
Up next we have Parasomnia, the newest album by Dream Theater, and I might be wrong. I might have to correct myself in a future episode, but I want to say, is Mike Portnoy back in the band? Is this his first album back with the band?
I think you're right. I want to say that sounds right to me. I don't know a lot of Dream Theater history though. They're not a band that's been in my circles or rotations throughout the years. I respect the musicianship, and what those guys can play. Just one that I've never really delved into. Um, but man, like with that being said, I actually really enjoyed this album. I thought
Hmm.
it was cool. But it almost sounds more like a soundtrack than it
Yeah.
does like a music album. You know what I mean? It's definitely almost like a play that it
Hmm.
felt like I was listening to. Lots of odd spoken word moments, and his unique style of clean singing. It's very good, but it's just they're a very niche band. But
Hmm.
I will say when it opens, man, I was like, holy shit, like I didn't know Dream Theater got that heavy. Like there was some sick ass riffage and like
Hmm.
it like starts with like a badass breakdown, I was like, damn, this is pretty sick. But so yeah, it was fun, I think, What do you think of it?
So listening to this, I realized like, because I love John Petrucci, the guitarist. Pretty much the only reason I originally got into Dream Theater was his guitar playing, and this album feels like it is mostly just the John Petrucci show. Even though Mike Portnoy's back, I feel like I can't hear the kick drum at all. I can
Mhm.
hear I can hear the cymbals, I can hear the snare, but I can't hear the like when he's getting down and dirty, like you said, the heavy parts. I feel like I can't really hear the thumping of the bass drum, but I do feel like John Petrucci's guitar, it's awesome with this. It has a nice crunch and meanness in some parts. I do find it weird that the opening track is pretty much a 5 minute intro track, then to the real music. But even
Yeah.
I forget which song it is. It starts off like very like contemporary. Like I think of like a church band kind of opening up, and then it goes into like the real
Mhm.
song. It's like
Yeah.
because when it starts, like, ah, damn, I gotta deal with this, whatever, however long this is gonna be. But then it gets into like the actual good music. I did enjoy this. I liked it better than I don't remember if there's an album called album called The Vanishing. That was the last time I checked in on this band, and it was a 2 disc album, and it was terrible. It was like 20 or some songs long, and it was like I want to say almost 2 hours long. It was an opera pretty much. Like it was still Dream Theater music, but it was a long story about how it's a future music is outlawed and we're gonna fight back or something. It was dumb. So I'm glad that with this one, it kind of adds, especially with like the theme, like this, like seems like a insomnia kind of creepiness about it. I like that element back in this, so I kind of enjoyed this. This was fun, even though songs are ridiculously long.
Yeah, they are.
I can still enjoy it. I didn't though.
Yeah.
I did not finish it because the Shadow Man incident started, and I saw that 19 minutes. Like, all right, I'm moving on to the next thing. I have a long playlist ahead of me.
Yeah, this was one that I was able to throw on at work, and I was like repairing a picnic table, but I did that for most of the day. But I remember this whole album coming on start to finish, and it kind of gave me like Pink Floyd Storyteller vibes, like
Hmm.
with the sound clips, like you hear the walking and shit.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, is there a movie on my phone like going right now? Like so weird. And then like all the different like wake up, wake up, wake up. I was just like, wait, what? What? Like it's so weird. I don't know, but they capture their name in this album really well. Like it really
Hmm.
sounded like it was like a dream. Like it
Hmm.
sounds like it's in a dream or something. It's really weird. But yeah, cool tunes, man. Like I really like if this is Portnoy, which I think it is. I think it's him because like those signature proggy switch ups that he
Hmm.
does, changes the beat, but it's what he chooses to do is so simple. Like he does it so I don't know. He just has this unique touch of simplicity, I feel,
Hmm.
in his choices, but it's just really well executed. So, but anyways, yeah, I thought it was interesting. Probably
Yeah.
the first Dream Theater album I've listened to fully.
Hmm. Yeah, they have a lot of albums, so I'm a little hesitant because I feel like there's some trash in there and then
Yeah,
there's some good ones. So I feel like this is one we can chalk up on the good side.
yeah, I think so.
Um, Up next, you might have to take the reins for this one. This is a new album called Duel by the band Ginger, the Ukrainian groove metal. I don't know what you classify them as.
I'd
Um,
say Gent for sure.
okay. Um,
Yeah.
I'm I couldn't get into it. I don't know. I've never really been too into Ginger, and I felt like that huge wave of attention they got after that Pisces video release. I
hmm
don't know. That kind of turned me off to him. So I wasn't really too into this. But what did you think?
Um, it's not my favorite Ginger that I've heard released. It's not bad. Like there's some really solid songs in here. Like Rogue, I want to say is it's the favorite that I've heard of the whole album. Super jammy, super boppy, very genty. Um, but just kind of lackluster for the rest of it. And I don't know. I really dug this band when they're with their initial takeoff wave, and like they had Teacher Teacher. That song's super badass with a sick meaning. Um, but there's some other good ones like in the early days. Like they have an EP. It's like a 5 song EP. I can't remember the name of it, but dude, it jams front to back, super. It's like banger. But yeah, I haven't been into Ginger since then, and I feel like they kind of got stuck in this songwriting formula where she now has these almost you can kind of count down to when she's going to switch to the cleans and then she's going to
Hmm.
go back and forth. It's like whereas I felt like earlier in the songs before there were songs where she necessarily didn't do the cleans because it didn't really have a spot for them or it just didn't seem like they fit. Whereas now I feel like it's every song, it's going back and forth, screams, cleans, and that's fine, but it just almost sounds like it's formulated,
Hmm.
Like these songs just kind of sounded formulated to me and a little too much. Like, so I don't know. It was lackluster to me for those reasons, but yeah. So I
I
kind of
gotcha.
moved past this one.
All right. Up next, we have here. For some reason, the title is not fully displayed. Here we go. The Distance Within by Harp. This was something I saw on another. I would say kind of a recommendation for Sean. He suggested me to this Facebook group. I recommend everyone check it out, the Metal Abyss. And I
Mm.
found this album on there. This is the band called Harp with their new album, The Distance Within. I'm actually going to play it real quick just to jog my memory. But I do remember liking this.
Yeah, dude. I love this album. This is my favorite release on this week's playlist for sure. Very caught off guard, very surprised. Um, but really what captivated me is the uniqueness that I hear with this band. I feel like you have clear as day influences that you can find in their tunes. Like I want to say there's, um, chuggy riffage that is like you can easily relate to Gojira. There's the vocals are even kind of in this. It's like a screaming tonal screams like from a cave, Gojira style, almost Max Cavalera. A lot of I get that, but then they just have all kinds of dynamic elements that they do in the vocals. Like, and they'll throw out like a harsh right following a line of cleans, and the way that he does it and when he does it, it's so interesting to me, man. They sound so different, and so I was captivated. I was hooked, man. Listened to the whole album. Very impressed. Favorite track on this was Heart and Hands. Um, I love the groove. I also love the opening of the album. It's a ride, and like that's one thing I could say about this band is like they are riff writers, man. Like they take a riff and they'll write it out for 8 minutes. I don't know, maybe not that long, but um, there may be some fat in the album. It's like it's a lot of super long tracks, but this is also it seems like a newer band. I mean, they got under 3,000 listeners on Spotify. So just like that Vertex band that I shouted out last week, like I feel the same about this band. I can't believe they don't have more listeners. They got a
Mhm.
huge sound, man. Super stoked on these guys. I'm gonna have to go back through their discography and see what they got going on. But yeah, man, love this one.
Hell yeah. I listened to him early in the week, so it's hard for me to remember. I just played a little bit of it and it's like, okay, it's kind of coming back. And yeah, I do hear the Gojira riffage, even the vocals a little bit. But yeah, I remember enjoying this album. I want to say 1000 Steps to Extinction was one that I remember liking. Uh, yeah, kind of a groovy-esque intro. Yeah, this is a good album, and that's The Distance Within by Harp. Check them out. Yeah.
Their Spotify says that they are a Corsican Corsican band formed in 2020 on their native island.
What's Corsican?
I don't know.
Hey, Harp, if you're listening, where is I'm assuming Corsica?
Corsican, not Coruscant. I'm gonna look it up.
They're from the island of Coruscant.
Mediterranean island of Corsica. So,
So is that like owned by another country or is it
oh
its
wait.
own country?
Corsica is an island in the Mediterranean Sea and one of the 18 regions of France. Ah,
Oh, okay.
there's the Gojira.
Okay.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, check
Shout
out
out to those guys, man.
yeah, go show Harp some love. They deserve it 'cause this is an awesome release.
Dude, something about that region, they have these monsters that come from the fucking caves that just they're tonal screams, man. They're executing like the tonal scream perfectly. And like, oh, I'm here for it. Loving it.
Up next we have another band from the same Facebook group of the Metal Abyss recommendations, and that is Maceration with their new album, Serpent Devourment. This is another, I kind of put it side by side with Harp since I found them in the same place, but there's not really the Gojira stuff, more of like modern death metal. Kind of a little bit of a doomy riffage, but along kind of on in between the death metal rides and grinds. This is a fun
Mhm.
album. I do recommend this one. What would you think of this one?
Yeah, man, it was cool. Heavy as hell. Definitely on that death metal kind of genre. The guitars particularly reminded me of like Based in their style. They kind
Hmm.
of have that crunchy, distorty, heavy riffage. But super fun, man. Yeah, I dug it for sure.
Yeah, check out Maceration's new album, Serpent Devourment. Also, kind of a cool album cover with the whole I don't know what this is, like a squid thing with one eye and these like kind of
Yeah,
like these rune things.
yeah, it is interesting. Pretty badass though.
It makes me think, have you seen The Suicide Squad or the newer with Idris
No, I
Elba
don't
instead
think
of
I
Will
have.
Smith?
Oh, no. I
It's
didn't even
that
know they
one's
changed him.
Yeah, they changed it and it's like actually like an R-rated version and it's awesome. It was
Oh,
hilarious
really?
and it was a good as opposed to the other one with Will Smith that was bad. This one was actually I really enjoyed it. It was funny, it was dark. But yeah,
Uh,
that it looks like the monster from that movie a little bit.
okay. Huh. Is Jared Leto as the Joker in that one?
He's not in the movie at all. There's no Joker in the movie. Harley Quinn's
Oh,
in it
okay.
though, and it's still Margot Robbie. Other than that,
Oh, really?
everyone else it's all different casts. It's like John Cena is a person. He's the pacemaker. Hilarious douchebag in the movie. Yeah,
Nice.
it was a good movie. But it does have that what the FBI or whatever that soldier guy was in the first one who helps them. Like he's not part of the Suicide
Gosh,
Squad, but he works for the like government agency that's with them.
I don't know. I can hardly remember that movie.
I recommend I think it's just called The Suicide Squad and it
Huh.
was I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, Monster looks just like that one.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it almost
Um
reminds me of like Guardians of the Galaxy,
which
like the
one?
monsters in that. Like the first one, like the monster that they show up to fight in like the beginning of the first one or second one, maybe.
Oh, when Groot's dancing.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
All
Up
right, up
next.
next, time to get cleansed.
Yeah, up next we have a huge vibe change. This is going to be Towards the Light EP by the I guess you call them OG at this point, the OG
Yeah.
Christian deathcore band Impending Doom. Um so as there's a lot of cringe I feel like with this. However, at the same time, it still is actually I didn't mind the music that much. It's just when every now and then like they have this brutal breakdown and it almost makes me think of instead of Kublai Khan's Khan is king, it's just Christ is king.
Yeah.
But, that kind of
Yeah.
made that's a little cringe, but at the same time I feel like everything else is still pretty good. I don't know. I've fallen off Impending Doom for a long time because I felt like they were very just like typical deathcore, nothing really new going on. Uh, but I didn't mind this one. What did you think of this one?
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if I care that like the religious stuff is that blatant. I almost like prefer it be hidden a little bit, like their album Nailed Dead Risen. You didn't
Hmm.
really know because it sounded too brutal to possibly be religious.
Hmm.
But then you get to reading the lyrics and it's like, oh, yeah, this is definitely religious. Like, give me that. I don't know if I want to be able to decipher Christ is king on a badass breakdown. But whatever, to each their own. And yeah, I mean, the tunage is there, man. Like the music sounds badass, but yeah, lyrically, I just kind of get confused, I guess, a little thrown off.
Yeah, because I do miss like their early stuff. Like the Nail Dead Risen was I feel like their most brutal they've ever done. Then Servant, they kind of like went more of that bouncy deathcore. But even then with Servant, like
Yeah,
yes, it was religious, but at least they like had a concept and like an idea.
yeah. Well, and it fit in with the tunage. Like they fit in, they meshed so well with the other bands thrown around those days. Like
Hmm.
Whitechapel and Impending Doom, you could imagine on a revolving headline tour or something, or you could see these guys show up at Mayhem and not be surprised. But like now with this blatant verbiage that they're, saying. It's almost kind of like they're pushing themselves out of that zone. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely miss that Serpent Servant era because that
Mhm.
was so sick. I loved their sound then.
Mhm. Or even if they had just had like, even if it's not a concept, they even had songs where it could just be, if you didn't want to look into like the religious message, you could still enjoy it, like Murderer. Like
Hmm.
you can
Yeah,
listen to that
right.
and never know that they're Christian until you have to actually look and it's like, oh, okay, I can see how that applies. But you could still listen to it if you didn't want to, or Death Will Reign, stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
it was still cool. This is just, it is what it is.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's out there. But I didn't listen to the whole EP. I think I only caught the singles that they released from it. Might have been 2 or 3 songs or something.
Yeah, I only think I listened to up to Towards the Light, the third song. After that, I was like, because it's a long playlist. I'm trying to get at least a little bit of everything to figure out what's going on. And this one, I
Yeah,
felt like I already kind of figured what was going on. It was sick tunage. Could do without the in your faceness stuff though.
yeah.
Um, Up next, this was a newer ad I added later. It was a random find. This is a band that's just simply called 16. And it's their new album, Guides for the Misguided. Uh, Kind of fun. Just kind of a modern death metal vocals. It's a very weird vocals, but I do enjoy the death metal kind of a. Here, let me refresh my memory because I almost want to say borderline exhumed, but I don't want to be completely off. Okay, yeah, sludge punk metal troupe based out of Southern California. Yeah, this was a fun thing, so I wanted to add this. Did you check this one out at all?
Yeah, man. I thought it was cool. They got a pretty cool sound going. I really love the cover. I think most of all, like it just really catches my eye. It's got like I don't know, man, awesome style to it. Um, just kind of have to look at it for yourself, but it's like this weird upside down skull. It's like it's just oddly detailed. Um, but yeah, super badass. The tunes, man, yeah, they're cool. It's just kind of like I don't know, they got like a super group kind of sound. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's almost kind of like Troy Sanders, like some Max Cavalera. I don't know. I feel like I bring that guy up too much, but I don't know. Yeah, just some solid like kind of metal. You know what I mean? A
Mm-hmm.
weird culmination, but good.
Yeah.
Like they sound well rounded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nothing like not they're not breaking new ground or anything, but it is just like a good fun time kind of thing. So if you
Hmm.
want just like a fun good time, let's check out the band 16, and it's literally just the digits 1 6, and then their new album Guides for the Misguided just came out last Friday, the 7th. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's it for this playlist. We do have one more. It was a recommendation from Sean. I don't know if you checked this out. It was in our Facebook Messenger group thing.
Um.
Christian necromancy.
Yeah, I think I did, but shit, the day he sent it was like the day after the podcast, so it's been like a week since I heard it. I don't think I remember it.
I remember he said, "I know you both will hate this, but here it is."
Oh, maybe I
Um,
didn't check it out then.
so this is the new album. I think it's new. When did this come out? I gotta look now. The physical copies are shipping February 17th, so I guess it did just come out. This is the band Christian Necromancy with their new album, the Pederist, something like that.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm sure it's Peterist.
yeah. So this is a very odd band, and the only way I can really explain this band is if I read their bio. Because I listened to this right before, and I actually had to turn it off because I started feeling uncomfortable. Um, so. This band, so before I read this, essentially think of like somewhere between like Full of Hell and Pyron. Very like abrasive
Oh,
noise, grindcore, very odd. So this is their bio. This music was played on an acoustic 10-string lyre, tuned in free annotation amplified via piezo, and run through guitar distortion. Fretless electric bass guitar and electric drums plus vocals. No electric guitar besides the bass are heard on this recording. This album describes in great detail the horrific extent of organized child slavery and sexual abuse that had become a rampant issue by the time of contemporary with and including the person known as Jesus Christ. The lyrics are almost entirely derived from classic Greek source texts or of varying nature, including iambic and lyric poetry, medical journals, historical documents, biographies, scriptures, especially the Septuagint, which is directly quoted and referenced throughout. This is not a work of fiction. Everything lyrically stated in these songs is based on historical fact, with only slight artistic embellishment. So, it is very abrasive, very, and like I said, like the thing said, the guitars, there's no guitars, is a liar, and it's not in really any notes, so it's just kind of creating his own kind of notes out of these things. Yeah. After like I could get through it after a while because after a while it made me think like, okay, there is a little bit of stuff going on. I can kind of see what they're doing here. It's crazy, but it reminds me very much of like Pyron and Full of Hell, very crazy. Once I got into the lyrics though, I was having a very hard time because everything he said is pretty much what's going on in these lyrics. Very detailed, well, I wouldn't say detailed, but talking about sexual abuse in like historic times and in religion and stuff like that. I even looked up one of them. It was the King Tiberius and his island of Capri and what he would do on that island is like, ooh, I'm gonna stop. I got about up to track 4, Ejaculated Antichrist, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be done. Um, if other people have bit more stomachs for this, go ahead. If you're interested, go ahead. It's not bad. Just be prepared for these lyrics that you have to look up. It's on their Bandcamp, and that is Christian Necromancy's The Peterist. They have the lyrics on there if you want to read them, or if you want to live a more innocent life. You can not read them, just listen to the music. Yeah.
This band's about to get huge.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. That
What
is
a way
it.
to end it.
Yep.
Thank you, Daddy Sean, for bringing down the party.
Yeah. That's it for the new releases. Any other new things that are new music you've been listening to or know of?
Let's see. I went back to something this week. What was it? Oh yeah, a new release that just dropped. It was kind of too late to add to the playlist, but I listened to it today. I don't know if you've heard it yet, but New Ingested just dropped.
Oh, I did see it, but I haven't listened to it. I've been hearing people complain though. But at the same time, I feel like
Yeah,
it's that day. Everyone's going to complain, so I don't know if it's going to be legit or if it's just people complaining. Have you listened to it yet?
yeah. I did listen to it.
It's not coming to, you're not hyping me up on it.
It, I don't know, man. They sound cool, but I almost kind of miss Jason Evans. Like, I
Yeah.
almost miss his unique, his characterized style, of vocal. I wasn't really digging his lyrics. Like, he was kind of letting his lyrics shine through with how he did his vocals, and so it kind of got annoying, like his rhyme schemes and shit like that. But, um, I don't know. I just get really stupid picky with that kind of shit. But this wasn't better for me. I feel like I don't know who they got. I want to say it's a dude he's got a prominent name from another band. I can't remember what it was. Um, but I don't know. Should we throw it on the playlist next week so we can both rehash it?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't listened
Oh,
to it yet. And
yeah.
how would you say his screams are? Because I also heard there's cleans on it. Is there cleans?
I don't recall hearing cleans, but I could be wrong. It was this morning when I listened to it. So yeah, there might be, but I can't remember for sure or not. But
All
yeah,
right.
his screams they're different. It's not Jason Evans. I feel like it doesn't. I don't know. It's just different. Like it's metal vocals, Um, but it's interesting. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, we can throw it on next week's playlist so we can
Sweet.
do a deep dive.
Oh, show.
Other than that, are you ready to talk about some metal news?
Metal news.
All right. Before we do that, you care if I go grab a beer?
Yeah, go for
So this week in metal news, metal news.
it.
I actually wrote down two because I know I always forget when it comes up. Not many,
Good
but
thinking.
one of them is a big one. Um, there is they've been teasing, and it looks like it might be happening. The
Sexual
return of
allegations.
possibly somewhere,
Sorry.
not for this podcast, but
Yeah.
although I was thinking about commenting that on Staying with Sugarbog, they said we got big news coming up tomorrow. I was like, is that news allegations? But
Allegations? Question mark. That'd be funny.
but no, this is the triumphant possible return of the Tony Danza tap dance extravaganza.
Oh yeah. Yeah, big deal, man. It was like a
Hmm.
little reel with just some like beep, 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 beep,
Yep.
like mechanical buttonry and stuff.
Yep, and they've changed their cover photo like three times, but it's all three of them are different images from that reel. They updated their profile picture. This could
Ooh,
this is could be
it's a
happening.
big tease. It definitely could be happening. That's one way a band says they got an announcement coming without say, "Hey, we have an announcement coming."
Mhm. Yep, and if you think about it, it's been a long time since Amir's coming out with an album, so I wonder if Josh Travis has been working with Tony Danza.
Yeah, true. Huh. That'd be interesting. I'm excited.
Yeah, especially because
Very
that
excited.
last album they released at four, I would love to see,
Hmm.
even if they just toured, that'd be great. New album would be
Yeah,
great too, though. But I would love to see them. See Josh
yeah.
Travis because I even watched old videos. It looks like he goes crazy on his guitar as opposed to Amir, where
Oh man.
he still kind of does a little bit, but it's not the same level he did with Tony Danza.
Yeah, dude. Whoa, Bud Light?
Yes, my Super Bowl beers.
Oh, okay.
Bud
New
Light's
sponsor?
official beer of the NFL.
Yeah. And Death Metal Daddies.
Yeah, come on, bud.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Tony Danzer. Yeah, man, that would be cool. That's awesome
Hmm.
news.
Um,
Um,
do you have any others? I have a couple others, but I didn't know if you had anything.
yeah, I actually did have a pretty big one. I don't know if you've got it on your list,
What's
but
that?
this is the most recent allegations
Oh no,
that
who?
dropped on a vocalist.
Oh, Ben
Let's see
Duerr.
if you can guess them. Yeah,
Yeah, I did see something about that. Um,
yeah. Domestic abuse or domestic
yeah,
violence.
I didn't see the initial. I only saw his response.
Yeah, yeah. He just dropped his response today. It was basically, um, I guess his old lady, I don't know, coming out and making statements. But today he released this. Hey everyone, I need to clear up some questions that I've been receiving lately about Brittany Carroll, in parentheses, fiance of nearly 10 years and mother of my children, and myself. I have never abused or otherwise caused physical harm to any women, especially not the mother of my children, parentheses, and of course not while she is pregnant, end parentheses. After talking, she and I have come to the agreement to part ways and are both going to therapy to be the best parents that we can be for our two kids. We both agree that the prior incident referred to in a video that she recently shared was truly an accident and are now civilly working through things for the well-being of our children. So yeah, right on. I didn't see the video, so I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
haven't seen the video, and I think I saw I don't know. It might just be Facebook internet lies, but I heard that she's already came out and apologized for everything. I guess I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, I always
I
wondered
don't
how
know.
that shit starts. Is she getting approached by a journalist, a metal journalist? Surely not, right? But
I
I
don't
mean,
know. Although I don't know, I don't know how the video is, so maybe it was like a third person that like had the video and like published it, and then someone sees, oh, it's Ben Duerr. Oh, then they just go crazy on it. I
hmm,
don't know.
yeah, yeah, man, it's gonna suck if we lose that one. That dude's got some pipes.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, if what he's saying is true, it probably is for the best that for their kids, to at least like if they're not going doing good with each other, have them separated at least for the health of the kids and their. Because I would always recommend people stay together, but if it is detrimental to the kids, then yeah, you should probably go your
Hmm.
separate ways, whichever is best for the kids.
Yeah, or just kick the kids out and abandon them.
Yeah, just do your own thing.
Yeah, I kid, I kid.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Um, no, but yeah, man, that's good that he's trying to fix the family and everything. That's good. But who's one other artist in the metal scene that you would like to see Ben Duerr featured on, or get a feature with another guy?
I feel like Signs of the Swarm would be a good one.
Oh, that would be a good
Um,
one.
maybe Lorna Shore, Whitechapel. Um,
That would be cool.
I don't know. I want to say Dying Fetus, but I have a hard time figure how he would fit into their craziness.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want Shadow of Intent to drop the whole symphonic shit. I just wish they'd kind of go like, give me a regular deathcore album.
I don't know. I feel like it can fit sometimes, but I do feel like, yeah, it does sometimes take away. Like, I thought it fit perfectly in Melancholy,
Mm-hmm.
but on everything else, it feels overwhelming and annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it gets in the
Yeah.
way of what's the one after Melancholy? The one where he's like burying bodies or something. I forget what it's called.
Apology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one I felt like it, because I never cared about that band until Melancholy. I loved that album. It's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
fucking sick. I see what everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
But then the new album came, I was like, it's back to me not caring. So yeah,
I
I do
really
think,
liked sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I really liked Intensified Genocide. Like he does
Hmm.
like the crazy whipping fast badass vocals on that. And I feel like it has minimal
Yeah.
symphonic stuff going on in it. And it seems like they kind of focused more on the metal side of it, which I preferred. But anyways, my I think he should team up with Alex Terrible. I think that would be
Ooh.
badass because they
Yeah.
are like the two lowest that I can think of,
Hmm.
in kind of a similar vein. But I wish, like, I've been waiting for a metal band to kind of come out with this. Um, what was that? What was that Eminem song with Dr. Dre? And him and Dre are going back and forth. It's like Guilty Conscious or Conscience or something.
I don't know. All I can
Fuck.
think of is probably not the one you're talking about, the ass like that where he's drunk and he's accidentally he thinks
Yeah.
he's hitting on a girl.
Yeah, no, not that one.
Man, you must be about your mind.
No, this one is like he burns a house down in a video. It's like him going back and forth, and it like pauses, it like freeze frames, and Dr. Dre is like his conscious and tries to talk him out of shit, but he's like shady and he's going too crazy, and she just can't stop him. It's that sort of thing. But they're like battling back and forth, and it's almost like it's like a long song, but it's like a rap battle. It's not a long song, but it's like a drawn out rap battle. So badass though. But I've been waiting for a metal band to kind of do that same thing and have these vocalists just kind of go back and forth, just like not like
Yeah.
battling, but is sort of like in that same vein. But I don't know. Like you get features, but it just doesn't culminate like hip hop features do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think that'd be so sick.
Oh, that makes me think of. I would almost like to see him then with Spite and do something like that. I feel
Oh,
like
that'd be
Spite, he
cool.
already kind of does that a little bit with his highs and lows. So I'd love to hear
Yeah,
another vocalist like Ben Duerr with his lows going back and forth a little bit. I think that would be cool.
yeah, that would be so sick. But yeah,
Yeah,
that was my metal news.
I gotcha. My other metal news isn't really big stuff. From what I understand, Cephalic Carnage might be uh coming back still. From what I understand, again, internet talk was talking with the band. They have everything kind of written down, but they haven't rehearsed it yet. And since the band is geographically all over the country, they can't really have time to get together to rehearse it to actually put it on record. But
Hmm.
since they've been doing some shows recently, that would be the perfect time for them to do the rehearsing. So it makes it feel like, well, maybe they're actually are building up to a new album, possibly. We'll see. Cephalic Carnage would be great to come back, but we'll see.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that would
'Cause
be
it's been
super
what,
sick.
15 years since their last album?
Yeah. Yeah, quite a long time.
Um, Other than that, Imperial Triumphant is coming out with a new album, and the pre-orders are now up on indiemerchstore.com. I'm debating on it because I do like
Nice.
that newer one, that Lexington whatever, and I love the aesthetic of the cover and all of the merch they have with it, the gold and the kind of metropolis looking stuff. Kind of makes me think of like Alphaville's album cover a little bit.
That
Um,
is cool.
yeah, I'm excited for new Imperial Triumphant. Other than that, that's
Hell
all the
yeah.
metal news I have. Yeah,
Word.
yeah. So I had one today. Um, oh, here it is.
You sent me
Talking
that
with,
picture of the pentagram guy. What was that? Was that a real picture? You
that
said it
was a
looks like
real
a video
picture.
game.
It looked like
That's
it was
weird.
him being a Guitar Hero, doesn't it? Like he's like
Yeah.
an avatar, but it was
Yeah.
on his Wikipedia page. Like, there's no way this is real.
Yeah, I was like, that's so interesting.
But let's talk about some dad stuff. I got a dad question for you. What
Okay.
do you feel like is the most dad thing about you when you think of like dad stuff, or you can
Uh,
catch yourself like, man, this is the most dad thing I can think of that I do?
mm, man, you know what? I feel like I get more dad every day just because I have like old man thoughts, but um really, really getting into spring and getting into mowing season, gearing up to cut grass again. My yard looks like shit right now, but I'm excited for that grass to grow. And I got some spots where the dog has like dug up holes and she likes to dig like, she's literally done, she's literally dug out mole routes in my yard. So it's like these long lines of these 6-inch holes or like trenches,
Just a
basically.
second.
Um, yeah, the most dad thing about it, like, so my dog's been digging up like these mole trenches, like it's lines where moles have been. And so there's like pros and cons to it. Like it's good because she's getting rid of the moles. She'll like kill them, and like I'll just find a dead mole in my yard. But now I've got like the damage, and it's just like trenches all throughout my yard. And I'm like, damn it, dude, because I don't know. It's going to be a spring project trying to get that looking good again. I'm going to have to get some soil and throw out some seed or some of those grass rolls just to get it looking good again. But being excited about that is definitely like a dad antic and one of the most dad things about me. Um, or I guess that's more of like a dad hobby. That's not really being a dad, but just, you know, part of the course. But a dad thing, I guess, is um, not really checking to see if I have enough diapers and wipes in the baby bag whenever I'm taking my kids somewhere, like to go to the store. Like I'm pretty terrible at that, and I feel like that's probably a common dad thing, maybe. Um, But yeah, I'd probably say something like that. Um, hmm, I don't know, man. Yeah, I feel like I wake up and say more dad shit every day. Getting real wiry hairs now crawling out of my eyebrows, so that's like interesting, and like they'll like get itchy, and I'm like, geez, this is like so long. Like I literally pulled one out that was like almost an inch the other day, like from my eyebrows. Like, holy shit, that's crazy. It's ridiculous.
You getting white in your beard yet, or gray?
Huh?
Are you been
Not
getting?
really. Not in my beard, but I noticed the side of my head. I'm getting like kind of salt and peppery, over there. Um, so that's interesting. But yeah. What's the most dad thing about you?
Um, I don't know. It kind of depends. Because I don't know. When it came to like dad stuff, I was thinking like when it comes to this Bronco, I'm so excited if I can actually get it. Because really, I just kind of want an older truck, just like and loading up fish and stuff and getting the kids in, just having to listen to the radio, just the
Yeah.
raw dog and life kind of stuff. But I don't know. I love the idea of that and having the kids either in the bench of like a old truck or in the back seat and having all the fish and stuff and the bitter cold, like hopefully this truck will start kind of stuff. Like I don't know. I look forward to that if I can actually get this Bronco because that's like my dream of like an older car like that, almost like a truck,
Yeah.
something like that. And also, I think like I've kind of done it. I think I picked it up from you of like the very sarcastic dad kind of jokes.
Yeah.
I love to do that, and it pisses off Danny a lot, but I love to do it.
It's
Um,
hilarious. Those are the best.
but yeah, but also I think I notice how I am with my kids. Like with like with Annie, I'm very she's the girl I gotta uh be gentle with her, but with Jensen, I get I don't know if it's like since we're the same sex, I kind of need him to like, dude, quit crying, man up. Like so, I
Man up. You're fucking
like
three
because
already. All right.
well, he just turned 4, but like he
Oh.
does it. He will try to he'll cry because I it's very obvious what he's doing. He's crying to get his way, and it pisses me off every time. But I pretty much tell him like, quit crying. No one's going to like you're a boy. You're gonna have to understand this now. When you get older, you're not going to be able to cry and get out of things. I need you to take a bath.
Now get your ass out here and help me chop this wood, damn it.
Quit crying. You still got the other 9 fingers. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oh man,
But I don't
that's
know.
funny.
I feel like it's almost like the sometimes I'm kind of like the that old adage of like your dad yelling at you because you aren't holding the flashlight right when he's working on some a little bit of that a little bit, but
Hmm.
yeah, when it comes to dad stuff, I usually just think of like wanting this Bronco if it goes through, and hopefully the engine or the oil leak isn't too bad. But that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. And then also
Yeah, man.
thinking of like because eventually I do want a Toyota Tundra, like a newer one. So when the kids get older, I want to give Jensen the Bronco if it's still
Yeah.
running. So I want him to be that annoying kid at school with the old loud
Yeah.
Bronco.
Hell yeah, man. That's cool. No, I definitely get that. Like that, and that, my 99 Ranger, it definitely scratches that itch for me.
Hmm.
And, I can go back and forth. That thing's like, what's the saying? Blessing and a curse, whatever. It's, like, I love it and I hate it at the same time. Like, I dreamed of having a fixer-upper truck, and then, you get to working on it, and then this thing goes bad, and then this thing goes bad, and next thing you know, you're cursing at it. But also, repairing those things makes you love it and appreciate it that much more. Really does
Hmm.
for me. I've never really bonded with a vehicle before like I have this one in the short amount of time that I've had it, just literally putting my hands on it, replacing parts and shit like that. Like, you literally care about it more because you fixed it. And to know that you can fix something and make it work and run again whenever, it wasn't, it's just a cool accomplishment. So, I definitely think that's good for the brain to have stuff like that. And I can guarantee, being an 87 Bronco, you're probably going to have a part or two that you're going to wind up
Hmm.
replacing. But
Yeah.
that old, you might get lucky, and there's probably are going to be parts replaced on it. So hopefully,
Yeah. And that's what I'm most excited for is that's kind of a lower mileage for how old it is. Cause I feel like, I think it was 160,000 miles. Like, I feel like I've walked more and I'm older than this car or I'm younger than this
yeah,
car. Um,
yeah,
but yeah,
it's
I
crazy.
cosmetically it looks fine. Cause every Bronco I've seen from that time period, it looks like they all have the same issue of like, oh, the back window's broken, blah, blah, blah. I was like, the window's fine. The switch for it's fine. It still has a spare tire. Eddie has that kind of like the old, two-tone brown that the old 80 Broncos used to have.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'm excited for it if it all works out. The inside looks nice. They kept up with it. Almost looks like they maybe replaced the seats and stuff. So,
Oh, cool.
uh, yeah,
That's
some
really cool,
stuff like
man.
that I really like, and I feel like it's also maybe it is getting an older thing and appreciation more for the older things.
Hmm.
I've been listening to the vinyls a lot more recently because the kids
Do you hold
have been. What's that?
do you hold your cup of coffee as you stare out the window in the mornings and are just
Oh,
hand
I
on your
have
hip
done that,
and
and I
you're just
love
like,
doing that.
this world's moving too goddamn fast. You know.
I don't say that, but yeah, I do that a lot. Not necessarily here, but when we vacation in Colorado, that's what I love doing. I got a cup of
Yeah,
coffee, just went outside in that cold Colorado air and breathed it in. Ah, nothing better.
that's awesome.
But yeah,
Yeah, man,
feeling
it's something about it though, it's like I don't know, something about having the older truck. Yeah, I definitely that's cool, man. That'll be fun. Is it a stick shift or a manual?
it's a manual.
Or those those were the same
Or no,
options. So
never mind. Sorry, it's an
is it
automatic. I heard
automatic or a
stick
manual?
shift, and it's like, no, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an
Yes.
automatic.
That's funny.
But it is only two doors, so that'll be annoying. Apparently, all Broncos are two
Mm,
door, so that's an annoying
okay.
thing about them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, not very spacious inside.
yeah, I mean, once you get inside, it is, but it's getting into the cars. Like every time we're going to have to put one seat down to get the kids in, but the
Yeah,
top can at least come out, so we can always have them once they get older, maybe climb through the back and stuff and get in their seats.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, and that's the whole reason I think Danny's on board with it because she wants something that we can get the top down and drive around, have the wind go through the hair's kids or kids'
Very
hair.
cool.
So, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I One thing I've been doing recently, I've been loving it, and I guess the kids are loving it too. Is every night because I've gotten really into looking at my vinyls. So every night I let they take turns picking an album, and we'll put it on. Then we'll cuddle in bed and listening to it, and I'll explain why I love that album. It's great. I
Have
love it.
have have they picked Mayhem yet?
Surprisingly, no. I'm super glad they haven't found the Dawn of the Black Hearts album yet, but they have picked out Job for a Cowboy, um, they seem to love, especially since it had a poster in it. And they both screamed they wanted the poster in the room, which
Wow.
I had to stop that because I knew Danny would not like the Job for a Cowboy Genesis album cover in their room. But
That'd be awesome.
they did pick Metallica's Ride the Lightning, Oathbreaker's
Oh, nice.
Rhea. It's been fun being able to just like cuddle with the kids and explaining like this is why I like it, this is what the genre is, and stuff like that.
That's
I love
cool.
it.
Hell yeah. That's interesting. That's awesome, man. I would be worried that the girls would pick out like one of my most brutal metal albums and then they wouldn't be able to sleep or something. But no, I mean they pretty much get the music, that metal's a thing. But that's just like another interesting dynamic too. Whenever we were their age, that kind of screaming metal wasn't near as popular, and so
Hmm.
it was even more rare for someone to like pull that kind of shit out.
Especially for your parents who would have been even older.
Yeah,
So like it would have been like young people who would have been screaming when we were like
yeah.
kids. So we would have had that would have been like if like Annie, if we I brought out like what's a newer band? if I would have brought her Christian necromancy and put on Peterus, like, oh yeah, this is normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's interesting.
But yeah, even because I feel like what? Because your dad, I know, want to say he listened to Metallica, didn't he?
Yeah, and I mean that was kind of like towards his heaviest. Like I want to say Ministry, he was a fan of. Kiss, he liked, but nothing like crazy, crazy heavy.
Yeah.
He liked hard rock, really harder rock. Judas Priest, I guess he was a fan of Judas Priest. Um, Megadeth, definitely wasn't into like death metal or anything like that. Like I'm sure Cannibal Corpse would have been around at the time, his um, probably partying days, whatever. But yeah, I don't remember him ever reciting that band as one he had heard before. So I don't know,
At the same
but
time, probably for him, that was probably like the heaviest when he was growing up was probably like Metallica and stuff like that. So for him, it probably was
yeah,
like that was his version of it.
right,
Um, because for us, we grew up with like deathcore and death metal, and grindcore was already a thing. Because I mean, has it really gotten heavier since those genres? I mean, besides war metal, I mean, brutal death metal was already around when we were
yeah,
born. So
right. Yeah, I don't know that it's getting heavier as much as it's getting more chaotic.
yeah, because
You know?
it's gonna be kind of harder to get heavier at this point. Because it's also what do you consider heavy? Do you consider the fastness heavy? Do
Yeah.
you consider the overall like how bassy it is? I've heard people say that no matter what, no one can be heavier than Primitive Man, which I can kind of
Mm,
agree a little bit, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah.
well, it depends on what you consider. What's the part that you
Heavy.
consider heavy?
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that kind of went all over the place.
it's all right.
I had a question. I had a question for you that's more aligns with metal. And I think it's always in our minds or it's probably in the minds of most metalheads. But when you're about to go to a show, you look in your drawer and you see the bands that's performing, are you or well, I don't know. I don't know. There's probably people on both sides of this fence. If you're going to a show, are you wearing the band's shirt that you're going to see, or is it
No,
not cool?
no, I do not. That's so. There's a couple of reasons for me why I don't. The person who kind of baptized me in a metal concert was my buddy Corey. He's the one who I locked his keys out of his car when I was running in Omaha at like 1 in the morning. But he took
Nice.
me to Under Oath, Poison the Well, Mailings, Sons of Disaster, and Every Time I Die. And I think I was going to wear an Under Oath shirt. He goes, absolutely not. You don't wear a band shirt that you're going to see. You do not. Okay. So that kind of stuck with me. But also I've been to concerts where I go to the show, a band plays, and then I see all these people wearing shirts all of a sudden of the band they just saw because they went over to the merch table, bought their shirts, and immediately put them on. Like I went and
Yeah.
saw it was Maylene and Sons of Disaster, August Burns Red, Norma Jean, and As Lay Dying. And as soon as August Burns Red was done, I saw about 15 people walking around with the same August white polar bear August Burns Red T-shirt walking around. It's like you're dumb. It annoyed me so much. It's like I came here for all
Like,
four of these bands, and you guys just go there and all of a sudden act like you're fans because you just saw them. Fuck you guys. Kind of, I don't know. Just for me personally, I do not. What's your stance on that?
I feel like I used to be that way, but now, like, as I've gotten older, I just don't really give a shit that much. And, like, I don't know, like, if even yeah, it's like, it's kind of ridiculous. They're all putting on the same shirt at that show, but then, like, that band that plays that night, they're gonna love seeing that, you know?
Hmm.
But then this community kind of donned this whole thing that it's like forbidden to wear the band shirt that you're going to see. And I don't know where it came from and I don't know why. Like it's such a weird thing. Like it's like I get it because it's almost like this bandwagon aspect, and it's like there's also the chance that those people aren't even fans of metal. They just got pulled to this show and they're just buying the most brutal shirt they can to now rep
Mm.
it to their non-metal friends or whatever. And like, yeah, I like these guys. I don't know. So I guess there's some of that, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know that I really think about it too much anymore. Like coming up, going to see Cannibal Corpse and Meshuggah, I'm like, okay, well, what Meshuggah or what shirt do I wear, Meshuggah or Cannibal Corpse? So, I'm almost kind of like totally opposite now. I'm like, I'm more willing to wear the band shirt, but I don't know. And like, what shirt? So, what shirt do you pick out? For does it matter what band you're going to see? What shirt you end up wearing?
A little bit. It all depends on the type of bands I'm going to see. Like, when I went to the Carnifex show, I wore a Disentomb shirt. When I went to the emo concert with Armor for Sleep Thursday and Hawthorne Heights, I wore a Dillinger shirt because Dillinger's New Jersey. The bands I was going to go see were from New Jersey. It felt like it fit more of that vibe. So it's all about kind of the vibe of that show. But also, I think that's for me, I think that's also another aspect of the metal community because if you see a metalhead in public wearing a shirt, you automatically are interested and you want to be like, hell yeah, awesome shirt kind of thing. Almost like a kind of a peacocking. You're trying to get recognition a little bit. And I think it comes that also comes into play when it comes to a concert. You want to see you're almost showing everyone without even talking to people like what like yes you're here for these bands but what else do you listen to kind of stuff. So I think it also kind
Yeah.
of creates that a little bit because I've gotten compliments on like Disentomb shirts, Devourment shirts, but then there's also the other end of the spectrum where like my old I Declare War shirt, which was more of just shock and hilariousness, the eat
Yeah.
pussy chug whiskey hail Satan shirt.
Yeah. Right. It is a pretty sweet feeling when you get that random Walmart walk by and he's just like, sweet shirt, dude. Like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, man. Awesome. A Cannibal Corpse fan at Walmart in Eldon? That is badass. But it's like, so that always feels pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I like, do you stick with, are you genre related in your choice? Like,
Mm,
would you wear a deathcore shirt to a death metal show? Or,
Probably not,
would it
because
have
I know the. I would probably wear it vice versa. Like I would wear a death metal to a deathcore, but I don't think I would wear a deathcore to. I think it's all dependent because I know there's a stigma against deathcore when it comes to death metal.
Yeah.
So I think it all depends. Like, hmm, I mean, dude, actually, now I really have to wonder. I mean, I'd probably wear like a Summoning Lich shirt, probably at a death metal show, just to
Yeah.
kind of like, hey, go check out this band, kind of thing. Like,
Right. That's like a rep local
hmm
shirt there. Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool.
Now I
Yeah, and
gotta think of what deathcore shirts I have.
that's
Oh,
the
like a
more
Acacia
kind of
Strain.
that's like the more kind of thing I'm interested in is almost getting the more niche bands or like
Hmm.
the really ones you haven't heard of, like the small band camp discoverers, like pick up one of their shirts and wear it. Like I remember meeting up with Sean and the band dudes to jam the one time we did, and he was wearing a Nightmare shirt. And I just thought it looked so badass the way their logo is and everything. It's like a very intricate design, but um, so that I don't know. That was cool because I was like, it wasn't like readable, so I had to ask him, "Oh, what band is that?" And he's like, Nightmare. It's like sweet, and I ended up listening to him. I think like that following night or the next day or something. And yeah, I love that band now. But yeah, so that the repping the bands is always cool for ones that people haven't heard. Like I really want to get a Worm shirt because I feel like they
Mm.
have a really small niche. like kind of a really odd sound. Gotta have to really pay attention to really like that band. Um, but yeah, man, I don't know. It's just interesting. There's a big that's always been a big dilemma. Can't wear the shirt, you know.
Yeah.
I know one thing that is for sure a crime is local bands wearing their own shirts. Do you agree with this?
I don't know. I feel like that it also depends. I don't know. When it comes to bands wearing their own shirts, I don't mind if it's like one or two of the members, but if it's the entire band's like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
we're here to see, like, I don't even know if it depends on the circumstances. We might be there to see you, we might not, but we know who you are because you're on the bill. Like, we don't
Yeah.
need full-fledged promotion, but if you just want, if like one or two members want to wear the shirt, I have no problem with it. Gives me a little bit of a Metallica vibe or a Slayer vibe
Conf-
because I know they do.
yeah. Yeah, like a confirmation. Maybe like the bassist and guitar player. I think
Hmm.
the front man should probably avoid it,
Yeah.
but um, those might be more acceptable. Or like, and if you're trying to, if that's the goal, you're trying to make sure, that people know who you are. Maybe instead of doing the shirts, maybe just go with the bass drum head.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? With the name on it. Like that's an easy way to dodge that one. But
One.
to each their own. Also, there's also the aspect of like trying to do the whole uniform thing. Like it may not be a band merch shirt, but it may be like the logo or something. Like, do you approve of that?
It's all dependent because it comes with the when it comes to uniforms for a band, it's also dependent. Like, does it fit the style or is this a gimmick? It goes back to that conversation we had a couple weeks ago. Is it a gimmick, and is
Yeah.
this gimmick even gonna land? Kind of thing. Like if like I don't mind the band Gudalax. I think feel like they're
Oh
funny and
yeah.
awkward, but if a random local band just started dressing like that, it's like, what the fuck is this? I So it's all dependent. I feel it's
Gutalax,
how
they actually have
ridiculous.
like a pretty decent following. It surprises me.
Hmm.
Like
And
I've seen them play huge shows. I'm just like, how? This band's based around like feces, aren't they?
yeah, and it's like all like tongue in cheek joking, and I'm also surprised like they seem to even like spend a lot of money on their stage stuff because like there's one part I guess they drove a car in like slowly into the crowd that was like what was the theme, like urinal themed, like it had toilet paper and a urinal in it, and it's like you spent money on this and you're only getting paid per the ticket price, which you're probably sharing with all these other bands. Where's this money coming from?
Makes for one hell of a show. Yeah, man. Dedication. I mean, I guess they've grown, I see them in all kinds of reels for some reason.
Hmm.
They pop up like randomly more than any other band.
Who was that one band you sent me a couple years ago? It was the one where I think it was Crepitation, the one where the lyrics was literally just Brie, like it was just a bunch of like cricket noises. There was no actual lyrics, and it was a joke song.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even remember the name of it. But
Was
it's
that
just like
Crepitation?
maybe. I want to say it, yeah, something like that maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I kind of I don't when it comes to like them wearing their own stuff, I feel like it would only make sense if it was only one because I kind of like the confidence a little bit because if it is really just a confidence thing, it's making you feel bigger than you are thing, which I kind of like a little bit. But if it's not, I don't want the whole band to do it because then it's a little obnoxious. But one guy, like, yeah, have that attitude. But if you're one
Yeah.
to, but if you're one to everyone to like remember who you are, I think like you said, the you can do the drum head. But
Hmm.
I also really like the flag things that they'll do with like the PVC pipes.
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah,
really
flags are
like
cool.
those. Like it's
Yeah,
simple, it's probably easy pickup, just pick it up. But
I
always
agree.
looks legit and pretty professional. So I've always liked those, especially if it's like kind of a good, cool album art. Because did
Yeah.
did Something Lich do that with their old stuff with like the old like wizard thing. I feel like they did.
Yeah, yeah, they had like the banner thingy.
Hmm.
Um, and like you're right, it's called a flag, but I think it would almost kind of be cool to see a band do an actual like traditional like flag post. And then like I know
Ooh,
this aspect could be corny, like turning on a fan to make it blow. But, just dodge your hair from being in that stream of air. But just so to make sure that that flag blows throughout the set, I think that that could be badass. Or maybe not have it blow. But I think a traditional flag, just like fucking piked up there on the set with you, dude, that could be like a show of dominance. You know what I mean? If the flag's right and looks cool. I feel like that's something the band Revenge could totally
ooh,
pull
yeah,
off. They kind of seem like they'd fly like a flag with their logos and shit on it.
yeah.
I don't know. Cool idea.
So
Any
would you
band could
plan it
take it.
in the stage and ruin the stage, or would you actually have like something to?
Yeah, you sharpen the fuck out of the end of it and you just ping right into the no. I mean, obviously you'd make up some like fixture to stabilize it and set it. I mean, fuck, you could probably screw it into a mic stand base or something like that if it's got like a screw point or something.
And also, where would you put it in the stage? Would you put it like up front, or would you put? I think almost the best place would probably be behind the drummer.
Yeah, or like on each side of the drummer behind the guys.
Yeah,
I think that could be cool. But yeah, I don't
yeah.
know.
But I don't know if we're talking about establishing dominance, just pushing that, sharpening it down, and putting it in that stage.
Yeah, true. That could be a fucking awesome move right there.
Speaking of that, that reminds me of I feel like a band who would do that is no more. Young and in the Way.
Mm,
'Cause I feel like they didn't give a shit
yeah.
about venue owners because there was that one. I guess they actually shut a venue down because they had a blood explosion that flooded
Oh
the entire
yeah.
floor and ruined the venue.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Because I guess it was also a restaurant, and so since they had all this blood,
Oh man. Oh jeez. Was it like real blood, like pig's blood or some shit?
I think it was. I don't remember, but I
Huh.
remember it actually like it caused actual issue for the business owners.
Oh yikes. Damn. Yeah, that band was awesome, man. They were brutal.
Yeah.
I want to say that's like part of their video aspect. Like it looks like he's covered in blood.
Hmm.
Super
Yeah.
badass.
Which one is that?
Did it have blood in the title?
Is it Blood in Me
Yeah, blood in me,
or Be My
maybe?
Blood?
In my blood. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an awesome one.
Yeah.
Miss that band. But allegations.
Yep. Allegations they get you.
Yep. Yeah. So, are you ready to move on to our next thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, we've been talking about this for a while, and we're finally going to do it. A little bit of a makeshift way, but we're still going to do it. So, we've always talked
The
about
Island of Death.
Yes, we're going to do a game of Island where we each pick 4 albums to where we're both stranded together on this island. We each can only pick 4 albums to listen to for the rest of our lives on this island. We can share albums, but we cannot pick each other's 4 albums. And we've always talked about this year, and it's the year 2006 in metal. It's a big year,
This
and
is the golden age for death metal
mhm.
daddies.
So we're going to do 2006. There is no tier maker already made, and there was a lot of albums that came out this year. So I'm going to use a 2006 playlist from Spotify. Share.
2006 metal playlist.
Hmm. And
This could get really gay. Sorry, I don't think that's appropriate terminology anymore. Or something
Sarah,
being
DEI's
stupid.
all gone now.
But, yeah, sadness.
Oh, speaking of that, do you want to hear the stupidest thing I've ever heard that
Yeah,
they
hit me
just
with it.
announced? So you heard a couple of years ago that they renamed a bunch of the army bases because they were named after Confederate soldiers, so they renamed about 7, I think.
Yes, I do remember that.
So one of them they're renaming again.
Already from its
Yes.
rename?
Yes.
Wow.
So originally it was Fort Bragg in North Carolina. It's a big one. It's like the home of the airborne. They renamed it to Fort Liberty. All right, cool, whatever. We'll move on.
Kind of generic.
Yeah, because everyone, all the others were renamed after like actual famous soldiers and generals and stuff, which makes sense. This one was just Liberty, but they're renaming this one again to Fort Bragg. Again, um,
Wow.
this
Oh,
time
so
not
they're
after.
reversing, huh?
Well, they're saying no, it's not the same Bragg. This is a PFC Bragg who served in World War II.
What?
Yes,
Wow.
it's sounds like the most petty thing that you could do because like all these are pretty much named after like generals or like high-ranking NCOs who like won the Medal of Honor. This is a private first class who served in World War II and just
Wow.
happens to have the same last name.
That seems like they were really reaching for the stars there.
Yeah, and people are complaining is like we already spent millions of dollars to change all these signs for the space, and now
Yep.
you're making us change it again just out of
Good
spite.
grief. Felt the same and everything?
Hmm? Yeah, it's spelled the same.
Sp-
Bragg.
wow. Huh. That's
And this
interesting.
is
Yeah,
why.
I was going to ask if it was a military tactic because, that's not a bad idea to deter um, like foreign intelligence from, keeping up to pace on all of our military bases. Like you would think that changing the name every so often of all those bases might help throw some confusion in the mix, but no, apparently not. That's not on their radar. So
No, it confuses us more than anything.
that's crazy. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
it is what it is. I mean, I don't really have to deal with that. I haven't been to Fort Bragg,
Hmm.
formerly Fort Liberty, formerly Fort Bragg,
Yeah.
because I'm not airborne. It's not my thing. Yeah. So, 2006. A lot of metal albums came out this year. I'll go slowly if you want to look through just so you can try to jog your memory.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
So
Man, this
remember
is
you can pick
huge.
four. We'll take turns.
Oh my God.
And like I said, if I pick one that you wanted, I mean that's technically part of your list as well. It just doesn't count against your picking four.
Hmm. Oh my gosh, dissections on there. Holy shit.
Yep, and Celtic
That's
Frost,
crazy. Wow. Oh man,
Strapping
this is
Young
gonna be
Lad, The
hard.
New Black,
Oh geez. Yeah, this was a
uh,
huge year for metal, man. Oh my goodness.
Torture Killers, only album I like, Karma, Bloody Karma.
Oh yeah. Damn dude. Conquistadors. Oh, I love that song.
This seems to just be a retread.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like any newer albums. I guess I didn't realize also that The Swords Freya came out this year.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember
Yeah,
seeing them live around that year. I want to say they opened for Lamb of God actually at the Beaumont Club, and their fucking music was way too loud. Like it was piercing my ears.
but how was it?
Um, they were interesting. The drummer played sideways towards the crowd. Yeah. First time I ever
Was
seen
it
that.
for like this like just space or was it
Yeah, it seemed like
intentional?
it was space issues. Like they were
Hmm,
fucking very confined on that stage.
I
And then
gotcha.
you had Chris Adler's ginormous set, like taking up like a majority of the stage on his fucking rack, whatever the hell you call it.
All right. Are you ready? Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Um, dude, start. I don't even know where to go on here.
So first up, I'm going to pick because I guarantee you're not going to pick this one. I'm going to pick Blood Mountain by Mastodon. Uh,
Ooh,
as I said
okay.
in our Mastodon one, this is my favorite Mastodon album. I love this album, and it has a little bit of everything. It has the chaoticness in the beginning of The Wolf is Loose. It has kind of rockiness stuff in the with the Colony of Birchmen, epicness in Crystal Skull. Even just some weird, cool stuff with like Circle of Sasquatch. I love this album. This is gonna be my
Mm,
first pick on this desert island.
okay. So we get to share these albums on this island that we're
Yes.
stuck on? Okay.
Mhm.
Is this what island are we on? It's not Epstein Island, is it?
No, this is, and it's not. I don't think Diddy has an island, but it's not Diddy affiliated either. This is just a
Okay.
random island. It's the Castaway Island, but somehow
Castaway Island.
has all the food and water we need, and somehow
Okay.
ability to play music. But we
Sweet.
had to have the albums.
All right. Nice. Well then, that makes it easy for me. Um, because of the um influence that this album made on the rest of my metal years, that's not really the right words I'm looking for, but impact. For the impact that this album had on me, I got to pick All That Remains, The Fall of Ideals,
Good
because
choice. Good choice.
yeah, I mean, it's a dime, 10 out of
You want
10.
to talk about this album a little bit?
Dude, it's just awesome, man. I feel like you get a lot of variety with it. You also get a lot of like solid hit songs. Obviously, This Calling, but the Weak Willed, like I love the total genre switch up and musicianship. Like, and he even I remember I got this DVD of a live set, and he even like would introduce this song as like, I mean, it was kind of corny looking back now. But he's just like, "All right, you all ready for some death metal?" They're like, yeah. It's like, I started ready for some death metal, and just pumped them up. But and then they kicked into the Weak Willed, and I was like, ooh, that's pretty badass. And yeah, it is more of like a death metal-y song than it is metalcore for sure. So, I really liked how they did that, and it's just, a very, yeah, man. They hit all kinds of different layers and speeds in that album, man. It's so fun. It's so fun.
I gotcha. All right. Up next for my number two, I'm going to pick. Hmm. I'm going to pick Christ's Illusion by Slayer.
Oh
This
wow.
I
Okay.
do love this album. This isn't my favorite Slayer album, but my favorite Slayer album didn't come out this year. But this is I have a lot of fond memories of this album. This came out when I started paying attention to Slayer and has a lot of songs I love. Flesh Storm Catalyst, uh Skeleton Christ, Jihad, Eyes of the Insane, Cult. This is a pretty good one. I feel like there's a lot of Slayer fans that hate this album, but I do love this album. So yeah, I have to have a little bit of Slayer in there, so I'm gonna pick Slayer's 2006, The Christ Illusion. Awesome album,
Okay.
awesome songs. Don't care about what people might complain about it. They should have had more of this album in their set lists.
I'm not really too familiar with that one.
It's pretty good. I like the riffage on it. It has the Jihad song, which they played when we saw them. It's from the eyes of like a whatchamacallit, suicide bomber kind of thing. And they have Eyes of the
Okay.
Insane, which is PTSD from the Iraq War. Skeleton Christ, which is that bunadum, 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 bunadum.
Oh yeah.
Kind of cool stuff. And then Colt with the uh cool, awesome riff. I can't really think of it off the top. I remember loving the riff, but Awesome riff. I love this album.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, we got a pretty solid selection so far to listen to for the rest of our lives on this island. Um, I'm really contemplating on that Deftones Saturday Night Wrist. And that's not even a popular Deftones album. I want to say there's a lot of shit on that one actually, but I love it. Like it's one of my favorite Deftones albums. But and even that song right there, Cherry Waves, man. I just really love me some Deftones. Like I never really thought a male vocalist could sound not like attractive, but
Sensual.
you know, sensual. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Because doesn't it always sound like he's on the verge of coming.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of does. You. Yeah, I could hear it. Um, let's see.
You want me to
Huh.
go up or down?
You could stay right there. I'm going with that bad Mama Jamma, Lamb of God Sacrament. Oh 06.
Ooh,
I know
good
that
choice.
this is not very death metal of me, but again, for the roots and the impact that it had in my, early metal days, this just kind of sent me down a spiral for something heavier, and yeah, it was the gateway drug of metal for me, you know, and but I think aside from that, it's. I think we ranked this the best Lamb of God album on our rankings.
Yeah, I
Um,
want to say this was our 20.
yeah, it's up there. Yeah, man, it's solid listen, big impact. It's gotta go to the island.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you picked it so I didn't have to, because I was going to pick it if you did not.
Yeah.
So, for me, I'm going to pick As Blood Runs Black, Allegiance.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
Simply because, so for me, I also want a little bit of deathcore on this album. 'Cause, I mean, I grew up with it. Um,
Hmm.
and for me, there's two huge deathcore albums in this list. It's As Blood Runs Black, Allegiance, but also Bring the Horizons, Count Your Blessings.
Yeah.
Both of them were big, and I love both of them, but I'm gonna have to give it to Allegiance. I wasn't super into it when I originally found it, but as I've gotten older, I love it more and more. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to pick. It's amazing album, front to back. Even the intro track has that awesome riff, very horror-ish themed, like that mellow death style of deathcore. Kind of, I've heard people call it at the gates core kind of stuff. I think it, and I want to say they were super young when they made this, so all around this is impressive. It's even fun with that weird little sample, that "ooh, I like that" in the middle of the album. Like it's a fun album. It's awesome. It's heavy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick 2006 As Blood Runs Black, Allegiance.
Okay. Yeah, that was super popular in school, man. That and the Bring Me the Horizon one.
hmm
Count your blessings. All right, man. Are we three picks in each already?
I think this is gonna be your third pick.
Okay, my third. Hmm. All right, scroll down for me. Just gonna do a slow stroll there. Let's see here. Celtic Frost, man, that was a big one. Damn, that's a great hallucinosis. Decapitated, that's a huge one too. Jeez. Um, oh, man, that's an awesome '06 Bleeding Through album too. Not really one of their more popular ones, but I loved it. Um, Scroll for me. Scroll for me, Daddy. Uh, let's see here. Keep her going, keep her going, keep her going. This is a long list, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is huge.
Then we're
Oh
going
yeah,
into
then
the
it kind of
repeats.
okay, repeats, yeah, okay. All right, we can go back up now. Damn, that was a big Kill Switch album. But do I want it on an island? I don't I don't know. I think I know what I'm going to pull the trigger on. Right there, Celtic Frost, Monotheist.
All right.
I absolutely love this album front to back, man. I was so captivated by Celtic Frost. Um, Whenever I heard this song drop, "A Dying God Coming into Human Flesh," like it is just so moving to me, man. I don't know. I hadn't heard anything like it really at that point. So yeah, dude, big impact, but it's awesome. Yeah, I loved it, man. Made me a huge fan. I delved into him, and I feel like he pulls off the goth the best in metal. Like I can't
Mm.
really take other goth metal bands seriously, but I can take this dude seriously, and I think he fronts it in a seriousness that's tasteful. You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'll always be a Tom Gabe Fisher fan for that reason, for that album. So it's got to go to
Yeah,
the island.
I do love this album as well. And this song specifically, A Dying God Coming into Human Flesh. I remember this kind of almost scared me when I first heard it, especially with the music
Yeah,
video. It was the weirdest and kind of scariest thing I'd heard at that time because this came out what? It came out '06. That was a dumb question of mine, but yeah, growing up in a very strict Christian home and then like getting in the metal, then putting this song, is like, oh my God, it's
yeah,
blasphemous, but it's also just so cool and heavy. Even the rest of the album, like Progeny, opens up the album great.
yeah, dude, for sure. Dun, 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 dun,
This is
dun.
I've went back into Celtic Frost catalog and I understand like there might be old heads who like their older stuff more, but I think this is no matter what Celtic Frost's best album. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
I concur.
I'm glad you picked it.
Hell yeah.
So this will be my last one. Um,
Sanitation.
I don't know. There's a lot of good ones left, but it's one of those things like, do I want them on an island?
As oh shit, I forgot
Because
about In Flames. Take This Life. Wow.
yeah, Come Clarity's a good one. Under Oath to Find the Great Line was pretty much my early high school days. Atreyu's, I really like this one. Supremacy, I love this Hatebreed album.
That is a good one.
There's a lot of good stuff on here. Um, Cannibal Corpse Kill, Del Wars Prada, Dear
Mm,
Love, Napalm Death Smear Campaign. Wasn't too into this Deicide album, so Converge, No Heroes. Torture Killer Swarm. It is an awesome album. I recommend people check out Torture Killer with Chris Barnes on vocals.
mm.
Um,
A pretty strong bullet for my Valentine album too. Not gonna
yeah,
lie.
it is. It's the only one I actually liked.
Same.
I mean, Screaming Fire had some good stuff, but this one had a lot. Yeah, these two. Well,
Yeah. I want to sit you.
um,
Suffocating under words of sorrow.
I'm gonna have to pick. No, because I don't want to pick hate. I want to pick Hate Read, but at the same time, it's like we already have Lamb of God and Mastodon. I feel like that's already kind of filling this void.
Yeah. I just think Justice saying destroy everything would drive me nuts. Destroy everything.
Then you also have Cradle Fills Thornography, All Share Perish, Price of Existence, Dissection, Rain Chaos.
Oh god, that's such a good one.
Alright, I'm gonna have to pull the trigger on. I'm gonna say I know this is gonna be very anti-death metal, but I'm gonna have to probably pick. No, because I've actually kind of gotten tired of that one. Um,
Jess, you're in a pickle here.
I am. All right. I'm gonna narrow it down to either Atreus, A Death Grip on Yesterday, or Hatebreed Supremacy.
Wow, really? That's
Yes.
interesting. I was not expecting Atreyu to make this possibility.
Yes. I'm not really super into Atreyu. However, I do really like this album. And I want to say even the Atreyu fans aren't big into this one. They're usually big into like their first two. Uh, and then also the one after this one, Lead Sails for Paper Ships or whatever. But I really like this one. I feel like this is where they actually, at least for me anyway, like came together, like both the melody and the like heaviness a little bit.
Hmm.
And it was catchy as shit.
Fuck yeah,
Um,
super catchy. Like I think the vocals, man, there's something about that album that they made. Like I don't know if they just like studied the shit out of the vocals before going into or like writing these songs, but like you said, it's like uber catchy. Like I just feel like they
mhm,
hyper analyzed vocal patterns and styles and like it's like a flawless vocal record, I think, because of that.
mhm.
Like
Yeah.
they sing in the right moments, scream in the right times. It's like it hits. It's awesome. I always think of that song "Creature." How it's like run away, run away. Like it's like such it's that weird style that was really emerging in those days. It's like that excessive kind of I don't know, that one kind of screaming. Not like an emo scream, but kind of like an
Yeah.
emo like
I know what you're talking about, to where people would actually just like it was a big enough band to where people didn't know, they just called it screamo. It's just that
mm-hmm.
screamo scream kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, I
Good
don't
night,
know.
baby. Love
Um,
you.
yeah, I think I'm actually going to pick Atreus A Death Grip on Yesterday. Um,
Okay.
it's I feel like I need a little bit of catchiness on on this island, and I feel like that it does give me all that, and it kind of gets me. It it doesn't really get me going, but gets you on your feels a little bit. I don't know. It brings me back to that emo days a little bit,
Mm.
and it's one of those things that, like this album, like you brought up, it's super catchy to where I haven't heard this album in years, but I went to basketball game, like a high school basketball game, and some kid was walking around with an Atreyu shirt. Don't know if he actually listens to him or just had the shirt. And I immediately just thought of this album and this song's like, oh man, I miss that album. So yeah, I'm
Ooh,
gonna pick A Death Grip on Yesterday by Atreyu. Great album. I
yes,
get
man.
it. I lose credibility, but it's a good album.
X's and O's, man, is like it's a hit. Like it was. I mean, it hit all the right notes on my ears, man, when I first heard that. Like the guitar licks and everything. Ah, it's a killer song, man, and always been one of my favorites of theirs.
And
So I'm
even
happy to have it for sure.
yeah. There's even like the I'm trying to look at this. I want to say it's called A Fork in the Road. Um Our Six Story thus far. I remember really liking that one. Shameful, The Theft, uh yeah, your My Fork in the Road, Your Knife in My Back. It's a good album. It's not death metal, but it's good old early 2000s metalcore. So I'm gonna pick this
Hmm.
one as my fourth.
Sweet.
What is your fourth?
Mm, we've got some big ones on here, man. Um, Hmm. Let's see. Scroll down for me. Um. uh, Oh man, I really want dissection, but I also am contemplating something more listenable over a longer period of time. I'm gonna throw a wrench in the cog and kind of change routes just because I feel like if I'm on an island, I'm gonna want something different. And if
Mhm.
we're gonna be having to eat food that's from natural sources, we might come up on a cluster of mushrooms. And I think, in case we veer off into a crazy hallucinogenic trip, we're going to want some type of music that's going to best fit that experience. And so I'm going to pick Tools 10,000 Days.
Ooh, okay. You did switch it up on me. I was not anticipating this because I thought maybe Trivium's The Crusade or
Ah,
Dissection's
yeah,
Reign Chaos.
you know what, dude?
Okay.
They're such honorable, worthy mentions, but for the sheer fact of knowing myself and knowing how I like to change it up, I think Tool 10,000 Days would benefit the most in this situation. But definitely up against some crazy other metal material. And Tool, it's a hard one to throw in there because it's not really metal, but there's I feel like they are the fence band. People love them, people hate them. Um, but Danny Carey is a phenomenal drummer. No denying it. And I know he's inspired a lot of drummers out there that have kind of gone into the prog metal, so to speak, influence from him and stuff. So yeah, man, it's a solid album too, front to back, completely listenable. Yeah, so that's it, dude.
Yeah. Tool, I do remember buying this album because I know my brother always listened to him, so I was always trying to figure out who they were, what was this band. Guitar World was talking up this album, bought it. Vicarious, great song. Zombie, um, what's the Rosetta Stoned? Is that
Yeah,
and then what's the big
mm,
one from this one?
the pot.
That's it. Oh yeah, it's right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, great, great album. Yeah, good choice. It would be fun. There's a
yeah,
little bit of
man.
variety. So,
And that's a band I
our
still got to see too. I still haven't
mhm.
seen Tool.
So yeah, so on this album we have 8 full albums. We have Lamb of God's Sacrament, Tool's 10,000 Days, Atreyu's A Death Grip on Yesterday, All That Remains, The Fall of Ideals, um, Mastodon's Blood Mountain, As Blood Runs Black Allegiance, Celtic
Slayer's
Frost,
Christ
oh,
Illusion.
Christ Illusion, yep, and Celtic Frost Monotheist. Was that all of them? Did I get all
Yep,
yours?
that's 8. Yep,
So hell yeah, that's
it's
a
a
good
powerhouse.
variety.
Yeah. Yeah, we really mixed it up in there. That's
Hmm.
cool.
You got it. If this is the albums you're listening to the rest of your life, you gotta have a little bit of variety.
Faux show.
Yeah.
That that's cool, man. What's your number one um side album you could sneak in if you had to?
If I could sneak in an extra album, um, if it happens to be, so if I want to add more variety, I would maybe pick some brutal, like maybe Suffocation self-titled, or
Ooh,
actually let's go chaotic. Let's
okay.
do Where to Go. Converges No Heroes.
Oh, I thought you were
Because
gonna say
even
Breaking Benjamin.
no, no, not that type of chaotic. Like chaotic music wise, like this album. So Converge is already chaotic. This is like there's an album full of like very short songs. Um,
Huh.
so very
I've
chaotic.
never really delved into Converge. They're one that I've kind of missed.
They're good. kind of like a very metallic, hardcore, metalcore, mathcore, whatever you want to call it. They have this very specific sound, and I feel like there's a lot of bands that try to copy it a little bit, like Baptist, I feel like tried to do it for a little bit, but
Hmm.
I really enjoy it. Yeah, I would probably throw in Converge's No Heroes. If I want to add a little black metal, actually, no, I would not probably add Dark Throne because I don't know this album that well. The Cult is Alive. I do like Dark
Hmm.
Throne, but when it comes to Dark Throne, it's really just the older stuff since they started doing all the weird like crust punk and weird stuff. So I don't know what this would be. But I feel
That
like we
one
do.
is actually cool. I am
Is it?
familiar with that. Too old, too cold is actually pretty badass. That's when they kind of broke back into being awesome again. Kind of got out of doing weird shit. I just remember when that song dropped. But yeah, their other stuff I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah. I'd also maybe throw in Swarmed by Torture Killer because, like I said, this is a Chris Barnes. Like he's not in the band, but for some reason he's doing vocals on this album. It's I think a Finnish death metal band.
Hmm.
This is the only album I really listened to by them. Awesome album. Yeah, that's all my honorable mentions for this year. What would you like to be able to sneak in if you could?
I'm going to sneak in Dissection Rain Chaos. Absolutely. It
There we
was
go.
already cutting it close on decision factor, but I love it. It's a good thrashy death album, and I think phenomenal songwriting. I think that guy was a genius, man, and his story ended in a crazy way. But I think that's my favorite Dissection album. I know a lot of people like Storm of the Light's Bane. Their older, I think, '80s album. Um, and then he did his prison stint, whatever, came out, dropped this one, and then died like within a year. But crazy, man. Crazy ass story, but hell of an album. Absolutely hell of an album. One of my favorites. So I would definitely sneak on that one. Worthy mentions, honorable mentions, Trivium's The Crusade. Absolutely love that one. A lot of people started hating him around that phase. I don't know why. I thought it was great music. Kind of sounded like Metallica on steroids in that phase of Trivium, which they kind of already sound like that, but this was like peak form of that, I want to say. Um, and yeah, one of my favorite Trivium albums. So that's honorable mention. Um, Cradle of Filth, Stornography. They were kind of getting corny, but still catchy in that era. So that's an honorable mention there. I want to say there was one more up top. Oh, Deftones, Saturday Night Wrist. Again, honorable mention. Great sensual music. Um, and In Flames Come Clarity. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. So that was our first ever desert island for a year. That was 2006. Yeah, we can do that again sometime. Different year. If someone wants to suggest a year, and also if someone just wants to tell us what would their top four be of
Yeah,
desert island on this 2006 playlist. Yeah. Um.
that was fun.
eh, Yeah. Shoot it again sometime. We're still working on the Cryptopsy album ranking.
This
Probably do that
cog.
next week.
Yeah, sorry, I failed on that homework for sure.
It's all right. I didn't do too well that much either. I checked out at least every album a little bit, but there's some I probably need to go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll try to
You
do
know,
that next week.
yeah, and like the pods, podcasts really interrupt my music playing. I like to go back. I like a good balance nowadays. It seems like I'm
Hmm.
like half music, half pod. I like to hear some
Yeah.
conversation in the mix. So there's that too. But next week, you asked, what'd you say?
Oh, next week we can do Cryptopsy if we
Yeah,
if we're
yeah,
if we're ready for it.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I don't know how much you've delved into their discography yet. There's a lot of apparently I've only listened to three of their albums before this, so a lot of this was
Hmm.
new to me. Um, there's some good stuff in there. There's some weird stuff. So I don't know what parts
Okay.
you've gotten to yet.
I think I've like tapped into each of their albums. I just don't know that I've really dissected them and really given them the appropriate time to really get it all. But
Yeah.
I'm up for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anything else to add to our stuff before we start doing our plugs?
I don't think so, man. Hit them.
All right.
Hit them with it.
Well, if you like this episode, if you like what we're doing, if you want to let us know what your top four for 2006 metal albums would be, let us know. You can let us know through our Facebook or through deathmetaldaddies@gmail.com. You can also check us out, like I said, on our Facebook group, see what we're posting. Let you know when new episodes are dropping every now and then when I have time. Post a playlist of the music we're listening to. You can also check us out on TikTok, YouTube, or anywhere else you might be getting your podcasts or your dopamine fix for social media. But yeah, that's all of the stuff we're on. Yeah, shoot us an email. Let us know how we're doing. If you hate us, love us. Suggestions for other years of Metal Island things or another big four genre. We haven't done one of those in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let us know. But until then, Death Metal Daddy's out.
Hey, Daddy. This episode's brought to you by Rogue Chew Pouches. Chew nicotine. Oh, feel the burn. Yeah. Let's see. Shout out to all of our sponsors. Bandcamp, Spotify. Listen. Get your subscriptions now. Use code DMD 75 to get 75% off of lifetime subscriptions. If that code doesn't work, file a complaint at the website and let them know what's going on. Let them know what podcast you listen to, what code you put in, and that what code did not work. If it doesn't work, if that one doesn't work, try DMD 80 to get 80% off, or DMD 85 to get 85% off, or DMD 90 to get 90% off, or DMD 95 to get 95% off. And any of those codes should work, but again, if they don't, go ahead and file a complaint on those sites. And yeah, it should be good.
And make sure you
All right, welcome back.
throw them a link to our podcast to let them know we're the ones who sent you so they honor their contract.
Yes, correct.